Welcome to the last series of the week. We're still in week 5, but this will be the last series, the last hurrah. We saw a very quick one in the morning today, and now we will enter another one that will probably be a very quick affair. I'm Yulwei, as always, bringing you the action from Vietnam. Sadly today not joined by Everyday, but hopefully he'll be back next week to join us on broadcast, or maybe even today. I'm not quite sure. He seems to have big problems with his internet in Australia. So for now, you have to just listen to my voice over and over again. But as I said, this will be a quick one and probably a very exciting one, because GAM games are always fun to cast, to watch, to follow. We'll have to see which top laner plays today. Zeros was banned for the first series this week. Yoshino had another outstanding performance. He's just an insane top laner. As you can see, third in terms of MVP points, 500 points on the official broadcast. In our MVP standings, he's at 5 as well, I think. Let me double check. Where is he at? Yoshino sitting at 4 MVPs only, interestingly. GAM MVPs are very spread out. We have strong performances from all of the members from GAM, especially on the top side. Interestingly, for example, Levi is only sitting at 2 MVPs for us. He always is very consistent, but sadly, most of the time overshadowed a little bit by Yoshino or Kiaya, the two big solo laners, sometimes even by Slay, the Lux expert down on the bot lane. So yeah, we have no idea what will hit us today. Sadly, I just missed the lineups for GAM, so I'll have to wait a few more minutes. There it is. Was not even shown yet, so I did not miss anything actually. And we see Zeros is back in. Zin is still the starting ADC, subbing in for Hugh. Hugh has not played a game since Zin has started, and Zeros was banned for, as far as I know, it was boosting in solo queue. Only one match ban for boosting is a little bit strange. But yeah, he's back in. Yoshino had a great performance. Sadly, Zeros still seems to have the higher standing in the team. They value him a little bit higher compared to Yoshino. And it's a crime that we don't get to see Yoshino and Zeros be starters, because they are probably the two best top laners in the league. Especially Yoshino has absolutely left his mark on the league. He has demolished almost anyone. He had an absolutely insane Fiora performance in the first series this week. Probably the best game we've seen so far out of any top laner. Now Zeros is back in, and he can show us what he has got against the weakest opponent in the league. That's very clear. 1-8, out of play of contention. I don't think mathematically, they are even out mathematically, so they can't reach players. They are only playing to avoid relegations, and even that will be super hard for them. They need a winning formula. They need to find some synergy heading into the promotion tournament that will be happening later in the summer. If they want to retain their spot in the VCS, it is very probable that they will be playing there. But they can still try to ramp up, try to re-qualify for the league in 2020. So there's definitely something to play for Cerberus. not for immediate success. And against the strongest team in the league, I'll say that's flat out because GAM, disregarding week one, definitely has the strongest record. Looking at their game score, they are sitting at 13 and 7, and four of those losses were in week one, where they had absolutely no coherence, no synergy. So since then, 13 and 3, only lost one best of three. The first one, Zeros, was back in, and yeah, GAM looks insanely strong. We'll have to see what they bring out today. They seem to have gotten a punishment in terms of bans. They maybe showed up late today as well. We saw that happen once before. The game started a little bit later today, so I'll just assume that's what happened. GAM getting a one ban punished. Sorry for that one. So GAM has to work with two bans, but I guess in servers, that's not too bad. Aatrox is open, Lux is open, those are the prominent first picks, maybe even J4. Looking at especially Pot's champion pool, this would be an interesting one. Gragas could be an option, J4. He has played J4 three times. It's actually between these two junglers not the highest priority jungler. Some series in the VCS definitely have J4 as the most important jungle pick. This one, maybe not so much. So we'll get to see Zeros' most played champ as well as Kiaya's most played champ picked away from. But they get Lux for Slay. That's almost a guaranteed win already, because Slay is super great on the Lux. Has played her 7 times already, and will be very sad next patch when she gets hit a lot. 9.14 will hit us next week. We'll have to wait and see what VCS can bring out. We already saw many confusing and fun picks like mid lane Tristana, top lane Annie yesterday from G2. Probably not something that's really in meta. That was just a G2 thing to do. But still, many interesting picks. Kled rising to priority. We always saw a Kled ban in the first series today, so he seems to be lurking around. And there we have Gregors, one of Levi's best champs. Levi, most prominent on the AP junglers, has played Silas, Gregors, Elise, and Sejuani all 3 or 4 times this season. His only AD jungler, in fact, is Lee Sin. He played it 2 times. Karthus 2 times, so Levi really favors the AP junglers. And that fits very well with the 2 solo laners, because those two like to play AD bruiser champs. So bringing the AP damage in the jungle is very beneficial for GAM. Very standard draft so far for Cerberus. J4 and Zaya for a very strong first 3 champions. They can round out the comp with something like Rakan and a strong mid lane mage like Corki or Azir for a very well-rounded, nice team composition. On the other side, GAM locked in the Caitlyn. We have not seen Caitlyn for GAM yet, so that's a little bit of a new one. Caitlyn Lux has risen to priority a lot in the VCS, especially Big Coro and Palette, as well as Celebrity like to play these two champs. So the bot lane for Loki. Venus is the support, right? So Celebrity and Venus, as well as Big Coro and Palette, are the front runners for Caitlyn and Lux, and now Xin and Slay will play this one. This is a little bit of a change for GAM, because usually you want to play around bot lane with Caitlyn and Lux, secure platings, rotate them into other lanes, secure even more platings. So this is a bot lane focused draft, very different look for GAM, and why not experiment a little bit? You are up against Cerberus, so not the biggest problem. Let me quickly message my co-caster, so I'll be back in just a few seconds. Sorry for that, a little delay. We might still get a duo cast today, so I'm very glad to announce that one. And as the bans have unfolded, we see the Rakan banned away. I think that's a very intelligent ban from GAM. This was a very obvious Rakan setup for Cerberus, a very strong engage combination in J4 and Rakan. And now Nico locked in for GAM. Can be something Kiaya actually played a Nico game already. Maybe even two. Let me check. No, it's only one. So could be for Kiaya. Zeros also strikes me as someone who would like to play the lane dominant Nico, maybe in the AD style we saw for Evos as well. So I like this draft so far from GAM. They need a little bit of AD in the other solo lane. There's still Aatrox available, so they could go for Aatrox, especially for Kiaya, because he's a very good Aatrox player. He already played the Aatrox into Corki matchup. So yeah, I anticipate the Aatrox lock in here. There it is. This will be mid lane Aatrox, in my opinion. So this is a very typical Kiaya champ. He has been absolutely great on this one. Locked in. Cerberus rounded out their comp with a little bit more of a defensive approach with the Morgana as well as Corki, so still very good late game scaling. I alluded to the Corki. Early on in the draft was pretty obvious pick, Corki or Azir, the best champs in this situation. And then Morgana, of course they couldn't pick the Rakan. Morgana, Zarya will definitely lose lane to Caitlyn Lux. There's nothing they really can do. Zarya hard loses lane to Caitlyn actually, especially early on. Still nice scaling for the teamfights, and Cerberus' comp is still a well-rounded teamfight focused composition that looks quite nice. On the other side we have hello everyday, welcome back.
Yep, big apologies everyone, entirely my fault. My power's been out for the last 5 hours and my phone was dead, so I couldn't even tell Yulwei what was going on. I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah, this is no big deal. The first series was a very quick one, and you didn't
Who
really
picked it
miss a
up?
whole lot. Evo was won 2-0 and two very straightforward games, I have to say. Big mistakes for
That's a shame.
QG, so a
Yeah,
little bit
that was a
unexpected.
really important series. I'm disappointed I missed that. Again, apologize to all viewers. That's not great by me, but shit happens sometimes. But let's move forward into this game. We might have to sync up on the fly just because I didn't get a chance.
Yeah, no problem. By the way, GAM lost the ban again. VCS strikes.
Oh, what did they
They showed up
do?
a little bit late to stage. They wanted to start the game, and then we got another 5 minute timer, and it was like, oh no, are the brain machines lacking a lot today again? But instead, GAM lost the ban, so I assume they showed up late to stage. So once again, a little bit of laziness coming
Yeah,
out.
I mean, yeah. It's more disorganization, right? Like not showing up to stage on time is pretty bad. And also with the VCS being so harsh, like absolutely, you get eviscerated. You don't just lose it for game one like most regions. Like that's a whole series.
Yep, but it's the best series probably to get punished, right? Against Cerberus, whatever.
Yeah,
You can just no
that's
ban
that said
against
though.
Cerberus.
That said, this if you remove nameplates, this is a really good draft from Cerberus.
Yeah, I
I'm sure
already said that.
you commented on it when that came out, but I did miss the chance select again. I'm very sorry. This looks really good. I mean, they're in a lot of trouble, I think, because I think GAM looks like they're going to play a very different style than they normally do. Because you're going to play
Do
around the
they?
bot lane, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was quite surprised by the bot lane picks from GAM, but look at the top side. That looks like usual GAM. So maybe they just wanted to experiment a little bit in the draft, and then in the end still went back to very strong solo laners.
Does
Uh,
the top side look like normal GAM?
I mean,
Zeros Nika?
it's AD Nico though.
Um, yeah, true. It is AD Nika.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's a lane boy. Yeah, no, I take it back. You're completely right. I didn't see the rune.
yeah, and Aatrox for Kiai was very easy to predict because he has already played the Corki Aatrox matchup, and he's absolutely great on the Aatrox in the mid lane. So I really
Yep.
like to see him on Aatrox again. I think Kiai has been an absolute standout performer for GAM.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been one of their best players. We make this joke fairly often that GAM has the three best top laners in the VCS.
And once
Kiaya,
again,
Yoshino, and Zeros.
we miss out on Yoshino once again after his great performance on the
Yeah, boy.
Fiora early on in the week. Do you remember
Pot
the game?
looking for a gank here on Zeros. Forces out the flash. That's a gank successful.
I seem to be a little bit ahead of you, so I'll stop at 40.
Yep, 37, 38, 39, 40.
And we should be in sync, so from now on, should be smooth sailing here on our English broadcast.
Yep.
Look at the
Now,
gold lead
Levi.
already amassed for GAM in the first 3 minutes. They are off to a 400 gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you pick a Caitlyn and an AD Nico, right?
That's right.
That's not fun to play into.
Yeah, I'd agree. Oh
Oh,
my god.
YT. Wow, he almost died.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. They actually first picked Renekton here in this game. An interesting adaptation, considering that Zeros has almost only played Renekton and is the most played champ for Kiaya as well. They wanted
Well,
to
I mean,
deny the
it's
Renekton
pretty
and now
value
got
pick, right?
but absolutely punished by that. For that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you'd almost try and pull off a lane swap, wouldn't you?
Yeah, maybe.
I think because like Renekton versus Aatrox is just a top lane matchup.
It's not as great on the mid lane though for the Renekton. He would really like the Aatrox to come to the top
Better
lane.
though, right? It's better though, right?
Yeah, it's definitely better.
And I think Corki will do a lot better into the AD Nico as well. It's a risk though. Pulling off lane swaps like that's always a bit of a risk because you do waste time.
Yeah, I think it's probably not the greatest sign for Cerberus in either solo lane, because Kiaya, once again, has been able to absolutely withstand the pressure from the Corki. He's a little bit behind in CS, but as to be expected on melee against range. And Yado went with the Kleptomancy, a little bit of an interesting adaptation, very greedy.
Also, have we commented on the Cerberus roster change?
Yeah, YT's back in, and Zeldris once again plays for Cerberus. Zeldris, I think, was in for the last game they played as well, the new ADC.
Oh, my mistake.
Sadly, Cerberus
Ooh,
roster
Pot's in a
change.
lot of trouble. Just has to instantly flash there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he had to flash. He should have only had a couple of seconds on his EQ, and I don't think he was going to
What
YT.
is YT doing?
YT, you can't go on that side of the lane, man. But he's going to get the kill. Zeros, the misplays.
Yep, that was pretty nicely done by YT. Nice bait on the Zeros. Yeah. Zeros should know better. He's the Renekton player.
Yeah, don't go into that bush, man. You can't.
He did not pay attention to the rage bar from YT there. Because he should be able to tell that YT can absolutely turn around on him there. He landed the E, so I think he thought he was fine entering the rush, considering he landed the snare. But I mean, the snare does not really do a whole lot if you just run into the crocodile, right?
No, absolutely not. And he didn't really have to. He could have just waited, right? Like, you can just basically sit just going, I'm not coming into that bush until my cooldown's up. Yeah, this was a huge mistake from YT. But it was just followed up by an even bigger one from Zeros. Zeros could just sit in the next bush just saying, well, either you're going to come out of the bush and I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to wait for my cooldowns to come up and I'm going to kill you.
Not sure if he made the flash was necessary there from YT.
Nope, I don't think so. But maybe a little bit of just, I've got to panic and I'm just going to press the buttons that are available to me.
He needed the vision, so
True.
He was too scared that he would actually lose the 1v1 if he lost the vision again. So I guess the flash is fine. I think it was not really needed, but whatever.
Yeah, but it's not particularly egregious. Sometimes you make the play.
Sorry, right?
Exactly. Better to use it and not need it than need it and not use it, right? But regardless of that solo kill, this is still a bad time up top. But YT, he's confident. He's looking forward to this and saying, you know what? Sure, if it's just us farming, there's not much I can do, but I can just jump on you.
Yeah, right now, with the Tiamat completed, I think he has a little bit of kill pressure. Zeros has no flash. Sadly, level 6 is very hard to win for a melee champ into Nico, because she can just ult. And as a melee champ, you need to chase into her. So the ult is either just a tool to thwart the engage, or you run into the ult and she gets a big shield and a lot of damage, as well as stuns you, so she can run away. It's very hard to win against Nico level 6.
Yeah, I mean, and with the AD Nico, the shield is honestly the most relevant part. Like, the ult's not going to do a huge amount of damage just because you're not building towards it scaling. It's not that its base damage is pretty good, but
Actually, no
not
idea what the
not,
numbers on the old are, but I think it's
it's a
pretty
bit of
good.
it. Yeah, it's not like
250 or something, probably.
something like that. So it's not bad, but I think the shield's a bit more relevant in the 1v1s. Because it's big shield.
Yeah, and the stun as well, right? Because you can
Yeah,
disengage.
yeah,
You can then either disengage as Nico if it looks like you would win the lose the trade, or you just re-engage using the stun, closing the gap on the enemy
yep,
melee champ and chase him down.
yep. It just buys you a lot, especially that snare buys you a lot of time for your cooldowns to come back up. So you really have your run of what you want to do there. But good for Cerberus. They have actually gotten a very, very slight gold lead now. So they've pulled it back from the lane bully situation, mostly with that first blood. They've also picked up an Infernal. So things are starting to look all right. And this bot lane, not really doing its job. And I know that sounds ridiculous to say when there's obviously a farm lead for the Caitlyn, but no turret plates have gone down.
Yeah, to be fair to the lane of GAM, it's not actually that easy to secure the turret plates. There's a lot of wave clear on the side of Cerberus. You have the blade caller and the piercing feathers for
Yep,
Zeldris. He can just stand there and wave clear for ages, and then Ron can just
yep.
throw in tormented soil as well. So it's not actually too easy to push out the wave.
No, that's not really what I was getting at. I'm not trying to flame Zin. I think you're completely correct, but it's still worth noting it because when you pick Caitlyn and Lux to do that, right? So if it
That's
doesn't
right.
happen, it's worth noting. Oh, YT's in a lot of trouble here. Caught up.
What?
The Renekton ult's not
How
going to
did
do
that
anything.
connect?
That didn't
What a
look like it
perfect hit.
hit. But the re-engage here, Zeros locked in the Cataclysm. Zeldris has arrived. Levi's going to go down as well. 2 for 1 overall. And it should be free turret plates. Zaya with double buffs now. Cerberus come out well on top in that trade with a little bit of a janky animation
Yeah, and for
on
once, the
that DOE.
AD carry teleport actually pays off. We saw so many teams this week try to invest teleport resources on the other side of the map, and then nothing really happened for them. This time, Cerberus actually very successful. Sorry, excuse me.
Yep, was very
And
successful.
yeah, look at this again. Flash forwards from
It,
Zeus. I mean, nicely done if it's just the gank, but they disregarded the position from Pot, and then teleport comes in to clean up for Zeldris very easily. No
yep,
flash for Levi. He used his flash in the gank situation to close the gap on Pot. So a little bit short-sighted if you look at the play. Oh no, they'll lose
yeah.
the gold from the plating. Ooh, that's a mistake.
Ooh, that's not good at all.
Yeah, and 3 and
Yado.
1. Very good early start from Cerberus. And we have to say, even though they are by far the worst team in the league, I think we can all agree on that, their early games have been okay. They are not the worst laning team, that's for sure. I think both FTV on bad days and even QG can be worse laning teams. Their mid game and
Yeah,
late game decision making is atrocious, though. So
yeah, I mean that's where GAM is potentially going to just rocket ahead. They're just going to make the better decisions once the lane phase is over. But I mean, you never know. We don't want to count Cerberus completely out when they do have a good early game lead here. Oh, Ron, you are way too far forward. He's got the fancy feet though.
yeah, that looked
Off
very
he
good.
goes. Well done. Oh, Zeros is apparently dying. Oh, he's hit by the binding. That was really well played by Ron. The re-engage is coming in. Slay's going to go down as well. That's a double kill picked up for YT. What a play out of Ron. He
Yeah, and
threads the
if you
needle.
get ahead by 5,000 gold, then your mid game decision making does not really work.
Yeah, look at
Like it's
DBL.
not really interesting anymore because you'll just roll over the enemies if whatever you do.
Yep. Yeah,
This is a very
absolutely.
good start.
Shelly being covered. YT's going to get the solo gold on this one. So this Renekton is absolutely foot to the floor, going up to fifth gear here.
Yeah, and if
Absolutely
we
flying.
imagine Gamma lose this game, do you
Oh,
think
they'd be
the
kicking
debate is
themselves.
there to put Yoshino back in?
I already think the debate's there.
I mean, yeah,
Like
I think Yoshino is
you're
better.
talking, yeah, you're talking to someone very much in the church of Yoshino, right? Like,
At least if you
uh,
look at this season's performance, this split's performance, I think
yeah,
Yoshino
I mean,
definitely stood out.
exactly. And I mean, like, I'm obviously I'm a little bit biased because I didn't start watching the VCS really until, I mean, I watched them at Rift Rivals and they were, so not Rift Rivals, MSI. They were very impressive. But I didn't really start watching until I started casting it. And Yoshino's been sick, so I don't really have that Zeros hype that I know a lot of Vietnamese fans quite rightly do. But I think the debate's already there. I don't think if I was GAM, I would not be sitting here saying Zeros is our starting top laner, Yoshino is our bench top laner. I would be sitting here saying we have two starting top laners and we play whoever's performing better on scrims or whoever suits what draft we need to do.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I do.
seems to not be the case, sadly. I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
mean, Tinikan, I'm not actually sure what his position is on the GAM, because he's not the on-stage coach, but I think he's the head coach or something. So one of the coaching staff, one of the more important coaching staff for sure, has history with his Zeros and wanted him back in his team. So I
I mean,
guess,
like, don't get me wrong for even a second. Zeros is good. Not having a good game today, but he is good. You know, Garmin's a little bit spoiled for choice when it comes to the top lane. There's no wrong decision. There's just good decisions and better decisions.
yeah, that's a fair point. That's an absolutely fair
I
point.
do.
Look at
I
these.
I have like look again. I'm not someone who's got a super deep understanding of the VCS region culture wise and all that. But I mean, Zeros is one of the VCS's most famous players. Super popular, has huge amounts of fans. If he's on your team and you don't play him, I think there is a little bit of like, why do you have him if you're not playing him? And it's like a little bit unfortunate for Yoshino
Yeah, that's
because he
true.
had these ridiculous performances, but he doesn't quite have the brand power, the cult of personality behind him.
Yeah, remember the
That
game, the first series with Zeros were back in? There was a huge group of fans for GAM and
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
following
Like
him.
Zeros is a very popular player, and I mean, I don't like if you're gonna support a player, why wouldn't you support someone like Zeros? He's so high. When he pops off, he's so much fun.
I mean,
But it is
watching
unfortunate.
Yoshino is a lot of fun as well, right?
I agree. I agree. Like, I mean, again, Church of Yoshino, I'm fully in. Zeros getting locked up here, has flashed out. Levi here, trying to buy him some space. Kiaya as well. Reinforce, great Grag assault. Sends Pot to his grave. Gives Kiaya the speed boost they need to chase onto YT. Can they lock him down in time? Yes, they can.
Ooh, and this is very important for GAM. Getting back
Yeah,
into the game, they are already behind two Infernal Drakes and lost a little bit of pace, too much pace in the game, but now double kill in the top lane.
ooh, it's a little bit golden up here. Ron is under
What's
tower
going on?
trying to stop them. The TP is
Oh
coming.
no.
Ron needs to pressure forward if this TP is going to be used.
Levi is
Levi
dead.
in a lot of trouble. Yeah. He might be able to. Oh, why flash? Zell just has picked up Kiaya in the backyardo. Dude, Levi can't get out here.
I mean, he
Okay,
tries to
there
buy
we go.
time, but no, not enough
Oh,
time.
hello, the snipe. Slay picks up Rod OP with that ult. That was messy.
There was a lot going on.
That was a very odd passage of play there.
Absolutely. And I'm not quite sure why Levi had to flash. I think that was. He tried to style on them, he tried to get the kill back. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but I
Kiaya's
don't think that
teleport.
flash.
Zeros is already out of the fight. Zeros is pretty useless here. And a very good ult from
Well,
Levi turns this one around, because it actually looked like YT would be able to turn around the fight once again without Zeros being there to contribute damage or anything, because he's just too low to really approach the fight.
I mean,
Nice bounce up.
Zeros had already soaked up a whole bunch of
What
damage. Part
happened
of the
here?
reason, yeah, that was just a dive that stopwatch. This is good by Kiaya as well, just giving props where props are due. Tanking that tower so Levi didn't die immediately, but then there was no escaping Zeldris here. I mean, he had to flash at least,
Flash
so
for
that's a
flash.
consolation. Yeah.
He almost got out of there. Yeah, very interesting how the blade caller still connected with him. I think he was almost out of range.
What a raid!
So good
What a
attempt. Good
raid!
attempt. Yeah, wow. That was blind.
Yeah, that was blind, and he didn't even send the range to under tower, which is where I would guess the enemy's standing. But I mean, this is why I don't play pro, and Slay does. Slay is also probably our best luck in the
Yeah,
VCS.
I
I don't think
mentioned that in Match Champion Select already because
I'm sure you
like
did. I'm Sorry
Slay
if I.
is yeah, no problem, no problem. I just that was not intended to blame you for not being there.
No,
It's
no, no.
just
I'm, yeah,
Slay is really good on this
he's
champ.
so
Um,
he's sick on Lux.
especially in team fights, we'll have to track if he can impact the team fights from behind in this game, because it actually does not look too great for GAM right now. 2 point no, pretty much 2k gold behind,
Oh, they're
and
going
two
for the
Infernal
Daimon
Drakes.
Zeros here, but the Nico ult. Can they finish him off though? Oh no, the trade is immediately going to come back
And Levi's
badly
here.
here. Cerberus, you've got to be rethinking these tower dives. They're just not working out.
And they're totally unnecessary as well. You don't need to
Yeah,
further invest resources into this lane. The Renekton will not actually do a whole lot more with gold now, and you give up the third Infernal Drake for free. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a really
This
big
is so
blunder, and
bad.
gives Gum a lot of advantages back. They're still behind in gold
Absolutely.
and still behind one Infernal Drake. Okay,
Yeah,
good
but
smite,
the
good
first
smite.
Infernal Drake is so much important. So
Yeah.
much more. Like, having one is so much better than having.
Yep, yep. The first one is the most important Infernal Drake. Obviously, two Infernal still better than one
See,
Infernal, but Flash W, but he's already down
yeah.
to half
This was well
HP, and
played by
Slay
Zeros.
actually.
Zeros made that take so long.
Yeah, this
There
one
was
was
no
nicely
world,
done.
but he danced around quite well.
And once again, we have to look at Cerberus and be a little bit critical of the mid game. They're still in the lead. They are still in the driving
Yeah,
seat. They have a very
they
strong
should be.
Corki and a strong Zaya as well. So their mid game team
Yeah.
fighting should look good. We talked about their composition being very nice, very well rounded, very well catered towards later team fights. But it's still
Yeah, and I mean,
Cerberus.
it is still Cerberus. The mechanical play, you've got to favor Gum, so it's a little bit difficult to just say, well, they team fight better, right? But their champions do, but does Cerberus? Not sure.
Yeah, it's
One thing to note, though, and I did point it out earlier, is this Caitlyn Lux hasn't done what you pick it for. Like, the bot lane tower is still standing. We're at just coming up on 20 minutes, and the only two towers to have fall have actually been for Cerberus. So this Caitlyn is looking like a little bit of a dodgy pick. So maybe that's a point of pressure that Cerberus can keep pushing on.
especially right
But it's
now
going to
because
be,
she's pretty much useless.
yeah. And also, she went rapid fire cannon first.
Yeah, that's a little bit strange.
They're just trying to tilt me.
No, I think that's the full push build, right? Because you go
It's not
full
good.
AD items into attack speed, because that's the most damage you can deal to turrets. Crit will not do anything against turrets, so you just go the two AD
Well, rapid,
components of IE into attack speed.
then just go Essence Reaver. Like the AD is just better. I don't like this at all.
I mean, I can kind of understand where he's coming from. The rapid fire cannon
Yeah.
is still a super strong item on the Caitlyn. What we really need to track is if he goes
Well,
for
my
another
team.
attack speed item after the AE.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that. I mean, because the thing is that, yeah, you are right. Crit doesn't hit towers, but part of the reason Caitlyn's not just good at demolishing towers. That's not why she's so good at taking them. She's also has to pressure the enemy ADC off. And as you said earlier, it's hard for them to push in because there is a lot of wave clear out of the bot lane of Cerberus. That wave clear doesn't exist if you just constantly crit headshot the Zaya and she has to be, right?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
That's why you build the IE, because you need to actually get rid of the enemy laner as well. TP's being called here. Yado's in a lot of trouble. No package to try and Valkyrie out.
What the damage!
Gaia flashing forward, making it look so easy. Infernal
Slay,
Chain pulls
please
it back
stop
along. Down he
with
goes.
these steal attempts. This kill should go on Kiaya. He's way more important.
Yeah, he really is.
Slay almost stole away the kill. I mean, usually kills on support lags are still quite nice for your team because you scale
Not
very
when we're
well into the
talking about
late game.
against an Aatrox,
Yeah,
though.
the Aatrox, the Aatrox teleported and flashed in. You should definitely give over the kill to the Aatrox.
Yeah. Kaya, though, just continuing to talk about, like, just show us why we talk about him. God, he's good.
He is very
That was
good.
so
His champion
sick.
pool looks a bit shallow, but so far no team has been really able to exploit him, right? So
What?
we can
Yeah, and
talk
I mean,
about
like,
his shallow champion pool all we want, as long as he's not exploited. I mean, it works.
exactly, like, sure, at the moment he's only shown a little bit of a champion puddle, but until a team trips him over in it, who cares, right?
Yep.
He hasn't had to play anything else. For all we know, he's swimming and he can play every champion in the game, but he doesn't have to. Because teams are a little bit too tunneled sometimes on focusing on GAM's top lane. I mean, considering the caliber of the top lane, I don't necessarily blame them.
Yeah,
But
I'll call it Schrödinger's champion pool.
yeah,
We have no
Schrodinger's
idea what's
champion
in.
pool is a very good way yeah, it's true. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I'm
But
not sure about Kiana, but so far he has impressed me, especially on the Aatrox. I think he is by far the best Aatrox in the league.
yeah, I also think he's the
And
best
he's a mid
Renekton in
laner.
the mid laner. Like, I think he's the best Aatrox and the best Renekton we have in the mid lane. And I don't like it's insane how good this guy is. Obviously, Gum is gonna like. I know, like me and you are big fans of Yoshino, and obviously Zeros is a super popular player. I mean, I like him as well, obviously. But Kiaya, don't let him fly under your radar, guys. If you're watching at home, don't just focus on the top lane because it's the top three. It's the top side of the mid jungle top for Gum that are the absolute hype beasts. Like the bot lane, not to say the bot lane's bad, but they're not the focal point.
Yeah. It's very important to be stable in the bot lane and to not give up too many advantages. This was the reason they
You
subbed out
can't focus.
Hugh after
You
he
can't
absolutely
focus
fed his
everything.
ass off on the Karthus. But
I still think that's harsh. Like it was one bad game, right?
it's true. It's true. I don't really understand. I liked Hugh's playstyle. I know a lot of the fans in the VCS Discord wanted to see him subbed out and wanted to see more traditional ADCs. I personally like the mage style. I'm a huge
Yeah, I
perks
think
fanboy, so I mean, that's kind of goes
Levi is caught in the wrong side of town here, but he does go
good
for the
flash.
flash. Can they finish him off? They can, but Zeldris will go down. YT as well. This has been a really good team fight here, enabled by Slay and Zeros. Down goes Pot as well. It's a 3-for-1, and the
And
Baron
I'm
is
very sorry for the
immediately
quality
started.
drop, because that was a little bit unfortunate in the team fight, but we should be back to 1000 ATP this particular game.
Yep. Meanwhile, my internet can only handle 720. Woo!
I mean,
Australia. Oh, the flash forward there by Slay, looking for a play. Not the most, a little bit misguided because you are going into a Morgana, and they have to call the Baron off as well, just from a little bit of fear. They didn't have a smite,
yeah, that
so
was a
it
little bit
was at
of a
risk.
risky Baron call, but why
Yeah,
not go for it,
unfortunately,
right? You don't really lose anything. There
yeah,
was no immediate
you lose
objective to
time.
trade.
Well, I mean, there was a mid lane turret. They could have put a push on. It would have been difficult because there was a lot of wave clear, but I mean, also hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Let's look at the replay again. So they engage on White. He drops to a very low, so now he's almost out of the fight. Lost his flash. Levi a little bit caught, but buys a lot of
Yep.
time. And Zeldris'
You could
TP actually is a
play
big problem here. He gets caught by
Yeah.
multiple skill shots, immediately goes down. Very bad showing for Zeldris. And Port even goes down to the ult from the Caitlyn on Zin. So
Yeah.
and look at the
Not
item
very
build.
often.
Zin will make you very happy every day.
He will, and I'm very proud of him. He's going. I mean, I think the order was a little bit scuffed. Like, I don't like this RSC first. You did make a good point that it is the premier tower pushing if you're only hitting towers, but I think it's important that you actually have the pressure to force the enemy laners out. But whatever, it's not too bad. But he is going double attack damage rather than double attack speed. Caitlyn scales a million times better with AD than she does with attack speed. So this is exactly what we want to be seeing. Very, very proud of you, Zin.
And it gives her a way better mid game. 3 item Caitlyn with double attack damage is actually very strong already.
Yeah,
Usually we
she
want to see
cracks.
4 items on the Caitlyn until she comes out of her mid game dip. Usually she's very
Yep.
famous for being strong in the early game, weak in the mid game, and strong in the late game. With this kind of build, she's still weak in the mid game, not mid lane. She's actually good in the mid lane. Um, but
When do we start mid lane trist?
oh yeah, next patch it is. If you watched any LEC yesterday, we're in for
Yeah, what about
mid lane twist.
yeah, Annie top, right?
I mean, any
That's
top.
totally normal. That's
Yeah,
totally normal. That wasn't
that's
just
meta
GT.
now. That's meta now.
Yeah, it's meta. Best team in the world played it. Has
I
to be
mean,
good.
it's true. It's true.
Yeah, exactly. Rakan Yasuo bot.
I mean, I actually
Uh,
think GAM could try
and
something like that.
I mean, if anyone was going to do it in the VCS, it'd be GAM, right?
And any top is such a zero thing to do, I think. So, I
I mean,
mean,
it's a lane
maybe.
bully. I know it always catches people off when like you see Annie in a pro game and everyone's like, "Wow, she's such a lane bully," and it just sounds wrong because it's Annie. She really is. She's oppressive in lane.
Yeah,
It's
she's
a
really
bad.
easy to gank, though. Um,
Well, I mean, sort of. It depends how she uses her stun,
prior
right?
to 6. At 6, she's actually
Yeah,
very hard to gank. She has a lot of damage. She can just turn on the
yeah, she's
jungler and
not
one shot
being good.
him. But
Yeah,
level
but even
3 or
pre
something,
six,
she's
like
just a free kill. Like, she can't do
yeah,
anything to
level
avoid the
three,
gank.
level 4, 5, she gets a little bit harder because you can just have a stun primed and oh hello jungler, I'm just gonna walk away now, thanks. But yeah, post 6, you don't really want to gank an Annie with Tibbers up. It's kind of the same thing with Mordekaiser, you know. Don't gank Mordekaiser when he's got ult. Don't gank Annie when she's got ult. It's a
Yep,
bad call.
very true. And I'm so hyped for next week. Not only because of the new patch, that will already be very hype, but also looking at the standings, 4 teams, if GAM manages to win this series, which we kind of assume,
Yeah, I mean, they
then we have
are
four
actually
teams tied for first place at 7-3. What a great situation
absolutely.
to enter the last 2 weeks of regular season play.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely insane. 4 teams neck and neck for first.
And still a chance for a fifth team to even contest an EVOS. They look good today.
Yep, I mean, if you're the like sort of team sitting fifth and sixth at the moment who still definitely have playoff hopes, you're a little bit annoyed how the top side is shaken out because you'd be hoping that maybe someone would actually be in fourth that you could challenge
Yeah,
rather
that's very
than
true.
having to challenge everyone at first. But as a viewer, it's much more fun.
Yeah, especially as the top teams lose against each other and then win against each other all the time. There's no
Yep.
top team actually being the clear top team and the clear worst of the top teams. So everyone sitting at
Yeah,
7-3 is not great for the 5-5 team in EVOS. But looking at the
exactly.
schedule
Baron
for
being
Loki,
started
for
up here.
example,
This is really risky for Cerberus. They don't have a mountain drake. It has not spawned in this game.
look at it's not very fast. This is
No,
dangerous. Kaya has
there's
TP.
so much time. I mean, if
Yeah.
Gum, how long do you want, man? Like you gotta
Levi is
go.
not. Levi?
Player gets caught up. There's the engage from Pot. He's taking so much damage. Really not dishing out anything in return. I think they could have just stayed on the Baron and forced Gum to come further
Yeah, that was a
forward.
little bit weird.
Like the Baron, like it was slow, but it was starting to get low. Why
Uh,
did they pull off at that point?
Especially if you look at the traps set up for Caitlyn, there was no way they could fight around this particular little spot on the map with 5 traps
Yeah,
stacked on top of each other. Just
yeah,
stay on
exactly.
the Baron. Like they lose all their trap positioning if you fight around the Baron, because their traps are set up for you to engage. You just run
Yeah,
into the traps. That's not a great call.
yeah. I don't like that decision at all out of Cerberus. We do have to continue to be pretty critical on their decision making.
And it actually looked like they could have gotten the Baron, in my opinion.
Yeah,
GAM took
I
a
absolutely.
lot of time to contest there.
Yeah, the Gum was really, really waiting it out. It sort of called Cerberus's bluff. And I mean, yeah, in the end, Cerberus was holding a 2 and a 7.
Yep. I mean, they just didn't try. They just were not assertive enough to commit to the 2-7 because they could have actually gotten away with the 2-7.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely could have. They just had to play it out much more assertively.
A little bit sad to see because now GAM can re-enter the Baron vicinity and just yeah establish vision, fight around the Baron again. So now Cerberus lost their huge window to secure the Baron. And
Yep.
look at the Caitlyn's
And
items. Look at the items of Nico in the top lane. This is
how do
looking
you even
dangerous.
like? Oh, Pot going for the re-engage here, but there's just no damage coming out. His team isn't hitting the enemy. They were bound up by an E from Zeros. Pot very nearly dies to the Gragasol. YT throws himself forward, desperately trying to get something. Very nearly gets Zeros, but he's knocked into his Guardian Angel. He'll go down to Zin and Kiaya. Rono P has to flash over the wall. He was trying so hard to help his teammate. Slay secures another kill, and this is just GAM looking unstoppable now. The engages from Cerberus are just not good enough.
Yeah, very disjointed engage as well. Why would you engage when your backline is not there to really attack? As you rightly pointed out, there was no one actually auto-attacking, right? Port was in the backline, and they took a lot of time to kill. They actually didn't kill them at all. They just ignored the J4 and just stood there, thought
They
about
were
what was
saving
going on.
everything. They were saving everything for Cerberus's damage dealers, but the damage dealers never came.
Yeah, Pot's
Oh,
J4 has
Levi
not looked
flashing
great.
forward there does get a fair bit of CC and actually goes down to Yado though. Massive blunder from Levi. They really can't go for this Baron now.
Once again, a little bit too over-aggressive from GAM. Just wait for the enemy to come to you. You have Caitlyn traps. Just utilize the Caitlyn traps and wait for the re-engage. They have to contest the Baron. Why would you try to engage?
No, and in
Especially
the
on your
end, it's
jungler.
Cerberus coming out on top here. And the Baron started up again. No jungle for GAM. This should be Cerberus's unless there's absolute heroics from GAM. But it looks like they're not even going to really try
Yeah,
and
that was
contest it.
close
The big
enough.
worm dies.
Wow.
And I mean, that really comes down to the botched engage from Levi.
Wow, this is now actually looking pretty dire for GAM. They are playing here against Cerberus, the worst team in the league, and it's a very close game.
It's not what you want to see out of them.
Look at YT approaching from the back. Double flash to
Try.
avoid. So he actually got double flash out of the ADCs, so not too bad.
Yeah.
Still went down. Now doesn't have his Guardian Angel available, so next team fight, he'll just go down to the Caitlyn crits.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he had 2 flashes used to get away from him, and Zeros escaped on about 5 health. I really can't put too much blame on YT saying, oh, he miscalculated his damage. He was off by 3. Give him a break.
And now look at Levi. Why would you do that? Where are your Caitlyn traps?
Yeah, they don't have a trap line established either. I think maybe they wanted to save some traps for the Lux Kate combo.
That's so greedy.
It is greedy, but that's the only reason I can think of not to at least have 2 or 3 down.
Now look at the 5 not Infernal. I always say Infernal. I mean Elemental Drakes. I'm sorry. 5 Elemental Drakes. Only 2 of those are Infernal. 1 Monsoon Drake, as I have heard on Reddit. 3 Ocean Drakes are now called.
Ah, that's interesting. And that's very appropriate for Vietnam as well. Vietnam,
in the tropics,
has their monsoons. Yep. I mean, not might. He is absolutely dead. He was just caught completely unawares. And now the push from GAM down the mid, and they've got the inside track. Obviously, can Cerberus prevent this? You don't want to see yourself losing turrets when you've got the Baron buff.
Really prevent the inhibitor, in my opinion. I think GAM could have actually pushed the inhibitor here. Who's gonna stop the Caitlyn push? There's not a whole lot to do.
The only way you can really, the thing you can do is you do have Baron and Triple Ocean Drake, right?
Yeah, but Baron actually doesn't really help you against the push, right?
Because it makes your minions stronger.
It makes the minions stronger, but not against Caitlyn. Caitlyn will headshot the Baron minion, and the Baron minion will not stand a chance. So.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point, but it's more the Triple Ocean Drake that does make it a little bit easier to siege and also to withstand siege. But we need to see Cerberus doing something. They were gifted a Baron here. Don't throw your Christmas present away.
I mean, this game has been a little bit of a fiesta. GAM definitely not living up to the hype.
Yeah, a little bit of a day of fiestas if you watch a little bit of international play. My God, North America did not look good today.
I mean, even Europe yesterday looked very, very weird. The Fnatic against OG game yesterday was a little bit of a mess.
I didn't catch that one, so I might have to go back and watch
it. Don't go back. It's not worth it.
Go watch
Rengar top lane. It's not worth watching. Definitely not.
Are you kidding? I love Rengar top.
It's like but now Cerberus has turned the situation around and is sieging the enemy inhibitor, and there's not a whole lot GAM can do because they don't really have any sufficient engage. They have Levi without his flash.
Caitlyn is great on the siege, but she's not actually that great on the counter siege.
Exactly.
So that was a free inhib, picked up, no casualties. Good job, Cerberus. And they should be able to also get this top lane in, and this is not a turret you want to defend if you're GAM. Just let it go down.
And it absolutely does not matter to any team if
It's a
this
bit of
turret
free.
goes down or not. Like, it's
Yeah.
100 gold for everyone. It's whatever.
Exactly. The only reason that tower matters is now you can push that in here. The actual tower itself does not matter.
Yeah, this game will
But
definitely come down to the
Cerberus
next Baron play, because GAM
or
needs
Elder,
to win the next one, or the game's just over. Cerberus, with the first Baron, was able to secure one inhibitor. The next one will be enough to lock down the game.
I think Elder's pretty huge as well, though. Like, this is if Cerberus gets Elder, they've got 5 elementals.
Very, very true.
Kiaya throwing himself forward there was trying to catch out Zeldris, but might be caught out himself. There's no real path to escape this Aatrox. I tell a lie because he found the route out. I thought that might be closed off by the team of Cerberus. They're going to go for the engage, though, because they know that it's a bit of a 4v5. Down goes Levi. YT throwing himself into the backline here on top of Zeros. He'll get the kill. He's chasing down Slay. Run, Pajama Lux, run. But this is 2 kills for Cerberus. They're looking really good here.
Yeah, sadly for them, neither Baron nor Elder are on the map right now, so the teamfight timing was a little bit weird, but they might just look to end through the mid lane.
I don't think they can. Not without Baron buff.
I mean, they have 40 seconds on the Zeros.
Maybe?
And look at the crits coming out of the ADCs. It's double ADC from Cerberus. Very nice ult from Slay, delaying the push a lot. And now Cerberus will call off the play and will wait for the Baron and the Dragon to spawn.
Yeah, the timing wasn't great for them, but that should give them the shot in the arm they need to realize, hey, we win team fights, guys, if we play them right. We can win this game. I think at the moment, if you turn nameplates off, blue team is favored to win by far.
Even if you have the nameplates on, I think right now Cerberus definitely in the much better position. Yeah. We know that they can absolutely throw away the game, but even Cerberus, I think, should be able to close out the game from here on.
Do you think there's merit here trading Baron for Elder if you're Cerberus? Just let GAM have the Baron and say, if you take Baron, we take Elder. We have 5 Drakes.
I mean, yeah, why not? It's a little bit difficult to push in against Baron and Trap line. You would then have to look for a dive. I mean, there's a lot of damage then on your team composition, right? So could definitely look for a dive. An interesting spot. They had no idea what was going on.
With this Corki as well. Pot throwing himself forward, will use the Cataclysm. He's going to take so much damage, though. The Sterix is popping. He goes down before the Redemption can land, but Levi will go down as well. Both junglers dead. YT goes into the Guardian Angel, and Kiaya goes down to a knee. 1 for 1. 2 revives being used as well. This Jarvan hasn't looked great out of pot.
Both junglers are down, so neither team can really go for an objective right now. It's a little bit risky.
Well, you say that, but I think Cerberus is going to do it anyway.
And we have the opposite trade.
Yeah, I think the other way would have been better for Cerberus, but they do get Baron though. And this Elder's not that impactful for GAM. Like, obviously Elder's always nice. Oh, I thought she was going to steal it. I was so convinced that Q was going to steal it.
It was very close. It was very close. Lux secured the Elder Dragon, and Morgana
has... No spot, right?
Yeah, right. And Morgana and Lux Q deal around the same damage. I think Morgana's Q even has a higher scaling. That being said, she does not have any AP, so...
Morgana Q definitely hits harder.
Yeah, but she has no AP build, so she's only sitting on 50 HP, while the Lux is sitting at 200, so... Makes sense that Lux gets the last hit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it probably wasn't... The whole damage probably wasn't required, so it just came down to which one hit first.
By the way, I think you should probably stop your stream for around 2 seconds for us to be in sync again. So with my delay, you're a little bit ahead.
I'll stop at 8.
Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
So, all right, no worries. We should be fully back in sync. Sorry about that.
Yeah, for those last few team fights should be Not a spoiler, but the actual play-by-play.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I don't like being the spoiler play by spoiler. But now, can Cerberus use this Baron buff because it's so much bigger than the Dragon's buff? Like one Drake Elder, you can push into this.
It's still risky. It's not like the team fights are hugely in favor of Server. It's 40 minutes,
No.
and 40 minutes team camps most of the time can look whatever they want. 40 minutes is just execution all the time. Obviously, ease of execution probably on the side of Cerberus, because you have double ADC with a very okay double ADC on the other side as well for GAM, but easier to execute ADCs and
Yeah, and
100%
also
crit
you
on
have
your Zeldris.
exactly, and I mean you have a tankier top laner. Where
Yeah,
does the tankiness come from for Gum is the thing. If there's any sort of front to back team fight, they sort of just get chopped to bits.
yeah, it's deceptive tankiness. It's Lux Shield and Lux Aftershock. It's Kiaya
Aatrox.
going into his revive. And it's also Levi throwing himself forward and then using his stopwatch or Zhonya's to delay the fight. It's not actual health bar tankiness, it's more resetting the
It's staying.
fight. Yeah. But look at the shields from Slay. He actually enhances the tankiness, especially from Kiaya, a lot. His shields are
Yeah.
now sitting at like 500 or something. And even Zin with GA and Bloodthirster and Lux Shield is pretty tanky. It's not that easy to take down the Caitlyn right now.
Okay. So now we have to make the question: can Cerberus actually put down the raging beast that is the Gigabyte Marines? This would be a massive upset if they do. Obviously, it's only game one, but taking any game here is pretty big for Cerberus. They're pushing in on this inhib.
It's pretty bad for GAM as well. They lose their big advantage in terms of game score.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not it's definitely not what you want to see. Especially if you want to think about Gum being one of the best teams in the region. You want your best teams to beat your bad teams, right? You don't want it to just be all bad teams.
Yeah, I
But I
saw
mean,
a comment
Cerberus.
in the Discord saying if GAM loses a game today against Cerberus, VCS has no chance at Worlds. So
Yeah,
GAM,
I mean,
please step up. We don't want to see that.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, there's an element of truth to that, right? You want to have your top teams really performing. Obviously, if everyone kind of mashes their heads into everyone, but it's because every team is good, then that's fantastic. But I don't think that's quite the situation we have here in the VCS.
And nothing has happened with these two objectives. No
Nope.
inhibitor
They
secured
were
for
traded and
Cerberus.
they.
And now the
Yep.
next trade is really interesting because second Elder for GAM is
Yeah.
actually very valuable. You can't
Yeah, you
really
can't.
freely give away the second Elder Dragon. The first one was kind of whatever because they only have one Elemental Drake, but second Elder is a little bit of a different thing.
Yeah, when Riot changed Second Elder some time ago to get rid of those 90-minute games in the LCK, whereas he literally just had like a million farm because they just cleared waves all day.
Yeah,
When they changed,
1,500, I think.
yeah, something ridiculous like that. Um, when they changed Second Elder to get rid of that, what they really should have done is you get the Second Elder and big letters come up, like Dark Souls style, like when you die in Dark Souls. But instead of saying you died, it's just push
You
the Nexus, dum dum.
Yeah, it's very seldom that we see second Elder teams don't win the game. It
Yeah,
happens
such a
sometimes.
big.
This is a game where it could actually happen. I'm not sure if Cerberus wants to make the trade once again because the second Elder buff obviously goes for 5 minutes. So if you trade
So much.
Baron for second Elder, your Baron duration will
Yep.
be shorter, setting up the Elder Dragon team to actually have the 1 minute, 1.5 minutes of time buff against no buff.
Yep. Also, something to ask here. Looking at the builds as they are going towards 6 items, so never mind. We'll come back to it. Pot throwing himself forward takes a lot of damage, but should just walk it out. Good guy, Ron,
Caitlyn damage
soaking
does
up that ace.
no damage. Caitlyn ult does
I
absolutely no
think
damage.
Caitlyn ult is literally just poke. It's just basically saying I'm going to auto attack you from range once. That's all that Caitlyn ult is. But as I was saying, as the builds are shaping up, what do we think of this Spirit Visage on Kiaya? There's a lot of AD on the enemy team. It's pretty much purely for healing him.
Yeah, he's just, I mean, he heals for insane amounts in the late game. What's the healing amplification on this champion? I think it's
25.
70%
25.
on ult.
Oh, on Aatrox? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's 70. What do you mean on Spirit?
I think it's
Um,
70%, and then it's actually 30% now on Spirit Resist. They
Alright.
buffed it a few patches ago.
Yeah, oh, Baron started up by Cerberus.
Oh, Gum too slow to react. They could have gone for the
Yep.
Elder Dragon. It was
But
free.
again, no Mountain Drake spawned this game, so this Baron isn't going down that quickly. It's on 3k health, but they are pulling off it. Levi taking so much damage, but so is Pot. The junglers die once again, but Kiaya is activated. 1-for-1 again. Both teams are so afraid of overcommitting and potentially making the mistake that ends the game.
Yeah, but look at where Gum is on the map. They call the Elder Dragon, and Elder Dragon is so much easier
Yep,
to
just
kill.
go.
So
It goes down so quickly to your team, and this trade isn't good.
yeah,
5 minute
I have to
buff,
question Cerberus'
so much
decision making
longer.
here. You don't want to trade this. This Baron literally does absolutely nothing to them, for them, I
You
should
can't
say.
push into the Elder Drake buff, and this lasts for 5 minutes.
And it's even a little bit delayed, so the 5 minutes is even exacerbated. It's almost 2 minutes difference now between buff against no buff. This is a big opportunity now for Gum to finish the game with a decisive team fight. Kiaya has flash available, Slay and Zin with flash as well. Only Zerus and Levi missed their flashes, so a lot of room
Yep.
for maybe a flank from Kiaya. Okay, we zoom in on the packages.
Well, I mean, why didn't Yado pick it up?
Well, yeah, I mean, does it really matter? We'll
I
see.
think it
We'll see.
does. It's a massive escape.
It's a massive escape, and it can deal a lot of damage as well. But
Yeah,
he has
it's
Baron
like a
buff. He can just
it's
recall
like a
again.
better equalizer. I
It,
mean, but this
interesting
is
enough,
yeah,
is
being now, so he's. I mean, it is just a better equalizer, right?
it
In terms of
slows.
the
It
slow, the slow.
slows. It's Yado.
Yado, pick it up.
Oh man, Yado. He's nervous. You can tell he's nervous. That's
Yeah,
not something you
I mean,
miss normally.
I don't blame people.
This is by far the longest game now on this split. We had the record in the Cerberus game, interestingly enough, against Loki. After Loki perfect gamed them in game one. The second game was 47 minutes. They lost the game. Now we are at 50 minutes and a few seconds. So longest game of the split in the first game between GAM and Cerberus, and we might see 3 games tonight. So
Very much could. I mean, I hope I do because I missed the first series like a absolute noob. Ooh, YT, he's getting collapsed upon. The dogs of war are approaching, but he's got
ooh,
Baron recall. Really smart use of the redemption. No, he wasn't getting hit by that Lux hole. He could have
it
just
was
held
a
it.
huge mistake for YT.
That's such a big mistake. He's going to lose his GA and his life. This is so bad out of YT.
Oh no, he completely messed this one up, and it's still 3 minutes of Dragon buff. It's only 1
I
minute
don't
and
even
20
think the
seconds of Baron.
redemption was going to kill it. Was going to stop him.
I think the
But he
redemption
wasn't.
would have stopped him,
But
not
he
the
wasn't
Lux
being
ult.
hit by the Lux ult.
Yeah, he was not in the Lux ult. That was just pure panic. Very fortunate for GAM, because they were a little bit too far away. It's very hard to collapse on the side laner with Baron buff, obviously, because of the 4-second recall timer.
One thing I'd actually really like to see out of him right now is sell the GA.
Yeah, I agree.
Just sell
GA
it.
right
It's
now
on
is
cooldown.
useless.
It's
Go
literally
for-
just bad stats at the moment. Just pick
I'd
up
like-
anything, even if you sell it and buy a BF sword.
Yeah, look at the itemization of the AD champs here. He does not have they don't have a single how's it called? The heal reduction item, Executioner's Calling.
Famous way.
Yeah, they
Famous
need
way.
Executioner's Calling. They don't have a single Executioner's Calling in their team.
That's a mistake as well. There's a lot of healing on the side of GAM, and you could cut it absolutely down to size. Sell the GA, just buy an Executioner's Calling.
And we
He
are at
has sold
100%
it.
crit on all the ADCs. Only Zin has not
What did-
bored 100%.
What did White sell?
He's sell.
He's
What did he
messing
sell?
with it. I'm not sure, but he's picked up a Randuin. Why not sell the GA? It's
That's
on
a
cooldown.
very weird choice. So now Baron buff has abated, and GAM with 1 minute and 40 seconds of a power play. They have buff against no buff. Go for the
This
inhib.
is
You
why
need to secure an
this
inhib
trade
right
is
now.
bad. Record. This is a very, very bad trade.
Oh, they want to look for the fight. I
Game.
mean, fighting is the right call right now. They have double Elder Dragon.
This game is on the razor's edge, though.
Absolutely. One
Balance
team fight
at
can
the edge of
decide
the cliff.
everything. We have Flash on
Yeah,
every
he's
ADC, by
super
the way.
hype. Yep.
Only
I
YT
mean,
is missing his Flash, so.
yeah, and I still don't agree with hanging on to this GA. It does nothing without its passive. Don't buy GA for the stats. Yado taking a lot of damage, but Pot will soak up the ace in the hole,
This,
and
look
they
at the tower.
can't approach clear
It's gone.
this. It just melts. This is why you don't trade second Elder for Baron. It just lasts too long. 45 seconds with this buff, and it looks like GAM wants to try and pressure the finish.
Yeah, they need
They
one
can't push
good
things
headshot from
sideways.
Xin to win this game. They need one headshot on an ADC to win this game.
Yep, absolutely. And it's so difficult to push out to try and do anything because look at the trap line. A little bit of, I mean, it's not quite a line. It's almost like he's trying to write his name.
25 seconds, 24 now.
Yep.
This is not
This
enough
is,
time to finish the game.
nope, it's an absolute nail biter. Zeros taking so much damage.
Yeah, they have to disengage, so
Pot as
only
well,
one
though.
inhibitor secured. Elder available in 1 minute. That's...
Buy your elixirs, boys.
Okay, they
This is
should
going.
probably look for another Elder Dragon. This game could be decided by a smite. Absolutely.
I mean,
If
but
Pot is
if the
able to
Cerberus
steal away the
have
third
to,
Elder Dragon, he could be the hero for
Cerberus.
Cerberus.
I mean, I think they can just fight for it, right? I don't think they have to go for a steal. I think they can fight. They have
It's
a late
very
game.
hard to fight around the jungle objectives against Caitlyn, though. She can
That's
just
true,
set
yeah.
up the trap line.
Yep, that is very true. But still, like at this point, it's not like they're massively outscaled or anything like
No,
that. I think it's
definitely not.
pretty even.
I think the scaling is in favor of Cerberus,
Pot
though.
throws himself forward here. The Gargoyle Stone Plate makes him very, very tanky, but no one's gone down.
And that
Lot
was a
of resources
huge
used.
binding from Slay, hitting Yado on the
Yeah.
backline. Yado was not able to follow up, so Port had to flash out again. Now Flash not available for their jungler. This is very crucial.
So many resources. The inhib turret's going to get absolutely shredded. When do you fight Cerberus? You have to make a stand.
Black Shield down, Black Shield down.
Fight for your life, Cerberus. Fight for your country.
Yado can't
Or your
fight right
base.
now. He's too low. Oh,
He needs
this
to
is
run back to
risky.
base.
Yeah, they'll get the second inhibitor. Oh,
Yeah.
GAM just won the game, I think. I don't think Cerberus can do a whole lot now. Both big objectives are there. GAM has the inside track towards Elder Dragon. If they secure another Elder Dragon, Baron should be free. GAM might just have won the game with these assertive pushes and overextension from Port. And Yado got caught, very crucially, 2 times in a row by Slay's Q. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. And the Elder is started. This decides the game. If it goes to GAM, 9,000 health. It's going down quick. The junglers are both here, both level 18, 6,000 health. Cerberus now getting the prime positioning on it. Resets a little bit, does a little bit of a heal. And the fight does. Slay has to flash, takes a lot of damage. YT burns the ult. This is on the razor's edge. If you're not on your feet, you're not watching League of Legends well. And it does go over Cerberus. It's only their first Elder, but it's still 5 elemental drakes, and more importantly, GAM does not have it. This potentially gets us to the 60-minute game. This is, I don't know about peak League of Legends, but it's peak hype.
That's for sure. And now GAM can't fight right now. GAM has to be super careful. They need to wait for the super minion waves, because they can't find into a 5 elemental Drake Elder Dragon.
No chance at all, but they are on the Baron. Rono P and Zell just charging forward. Pot's here as well. The TP being called by YT. They're locked in the pit. This is super dangerous. Look at the damage coming into Zeros. He goes into the GA.
Oh, what is Xin doing?
He's calling the base race.
They don't have the Baron recall. It's only Elder Dragon. He tries to base race this. Yado has teleport though, so now it's a 1v1 ADCs in the backline.
Not happening though. But there's another TP coming in. Levi's caught out. This is a game of 2 fronts now. Kiaya's in the base as well. There's another TP coming in for Cerberus. Levi has gone down, and they don't get a Nexus turret.
Yeah, and they lose their... No, where? Levi went down, so now it should be Baron for Cerberus.
Definitely
maybe
should
even
be.
game. No, there are too many minions on the map. I think if they clear out top lane, Cerberus still has to push a few more waves, but they get double objectives, so now GAM completely lost this objective trait and have to wait for the next Elder Dragon to really get a chance again in the game. Cerberus bought enough time to wait for the inhibitors to recall. Respawn, not recall. The inhibitors recalling would be a little bit weird.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird if the
Ooh.
very close on the steal there. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Ah, man, this has
Wow.
not been the most. Look, I gotta say something. This has not been the most well played game of League of Legends, but God, has it been fun!
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? This is so much fun. I'm glad we don't get every game like this because it's a 60-minute marathon, but my God, I'm
Full
happy with them
aggressive
every now and
items on Zeros now. No GA anymore. He sold his GA. He knew what to do. GA, by the way, the third time now active on YT. We had a very long game, obviously. The cooldown on the GA is very long, but it's still active again. Zin is still very strong. I think Zin has to go full damage. I'm not sure the
then.
GA is doing anything for him anymore. If he goes
Yeah,
down,
I think if he goes
he's
down, they've
the game
already
is,
lost the fight,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
But if it's gotten to the point in a fight where Caitlyn can die, it's over.
Just go IE. Just go sell your GA and buy another IE.
Yep.
100% crit, you
Or
get
even buy
to.
like a mortal reminder or something.
I'd like IE just to get
I
100%
agree.
crit, guaranteed crits on the headshots. I think he's going up to 450 AD or something, maybe even 500.
Yep.
So that would be a very, very big boost to the crits. We'd see something like 1,500 on the headshot crits, and imagine 1,500 crit landing on Zeldris or Yado. The game is just over. So I really would
Yep,
like to
that's
see him go
literally
for
a
the aggressive
game-winning
build.
auto attack. Yep, I completely agree. GAM moving forward, they want to re-secure this mid lane inhibitor. How's the wave clear going to look?
Look at Lux build.
Look at Yeah, and I mean, but look at also at this trap line. Pot throwing himself in here. He's not that tanky. This is so risky. Zeros though, no, that's his clone. Never mind. I got a little bit baited. Nobody dies, but so much damage going out onto the Cerberus jungler. They do get resources.
And they trade two flashes, two crucial flashes for one. It's the
Yep.
flash
But
on
the inhib
Zeros'
goes
side.
down.
They actually lose the inhib with Baron back above active. Baron is actually completely useless this game. Baron is
Pot
not
is
doing anything
basically a
anymore.
training dummy.
And
That's the thing.
I think Pot has been very bad on the engages, I have to say.
Yeah.
Very
He's been
overzealous.
engaging way too far ahead. But now, 1 minute 45 on Elder.
And
Truly,
we,
like, I
three,
think Elder
two,
just decides the game.
1 hour.
VCS hit 60-minute, boys! The thing that nobody ever. And gotta say, 60-minute game, only 31 kills for the VCS?
Yeah, that's very unusual. That's true.
Yesterday we had a series where we were on track to get 100 kills in 3 games. Didn't quite get there in the end. The third game just unfortunately wasn't quite enough of a fest.
Yeah, it's definitely the longest game of the split. The previously longest
Yeah.
games of the split in the VCS was 47 minutes. Also, the Cerberus game. This one is already 13 minutes longer. I think it might actually be the longest game in all the leagues right now.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often anymore.
No,
As I was saying earlier, second Elder may as well say win the game on it. Being able to repel second Elder is so rare.
it was very close. They were on the cusp
but
of
still.
finishing the game with second Elder.
Don't get a
Next-
prize for getting close your way. You
That's
got to get
very
over
true.
the line. You fall over in front of that finish line. You didn't finish the race.
And do you know what the next Elder Dragon is?
I mean, that's fourth Elder.
It's double Elder for either side.
Yeah, next Elder decides the game.
Yep.
In my
Whoever gets the next Elder Dragon will probably win the game. Definitely if it's Cerberus. Probably if it's GAM.
Pot, come on. You've been playing Jarvan for an hour and you just missed your flag with a Q? Come on. It's just
Pot looks
nerves, though.
very,
Right?
very nervous.
But I
this game,
mean,
I have to
his
say.
hand is probably shaking. This is terrifying to play. I've had games like this in solo queue, and I'm basically shitting myself. Imagine doing it on stage.
Yeah, and imagine doing this as. What is GAM
they're
doing?
gonna call it. They're gonna try and base race.
Oh, yeah, they are fast
They're gonna
enough.
win
This is an
too.
inhibitor for
They're
free.
gonna win. They know this is game.
Do you think it's game? They recalled. It's they
There's
called
no
off the play.
engage. But Pot's not back yet.
I think it's just an inhibitor, but very good
Oh,
call from GAM. Very G2-esque call from the Spring Split.
hot
G2
court.
like to make calls like this. Look at the shield from Slay. It's 600.
Absolutely
What a
enormous.
nail
Like,
biter. Very good decision by
man,
GAM. And now they get the top
I'm really
inhibitor.
happy I'm really happy my power came back on because if I'd left you to solo cast this one, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you would have been shit.
I would have been dead by now. Oh my god,
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm pretty
Thank
sure
you
we
very
never
much.
would have spoken again. Oh my word! Also, I'm happy I get to watch this game. Elder now being started up by Gum. They got a free inhib in the top lane now. See, Cerberus, you need to be fast. You don't have time to screw around. You're
And
down 2 inhibs here.
and the exact opposite is true for GAM. They need to be slow for this Eldrick. Wait for the top lane
Yep.
to close. Ooh, very nice. And this is very
Oh,
interesting for
cheeky
Zeros.
Zeros.
I
Yep,
don't
this
like
is
that he
really fun.
showed himself. I think he
Cerberus
should
has
have
to go
delayed.
now. Just go. You know it's 4v5. You have to go
And they
now.
just lost the game.
You can't wait. Go.
Oh no.
What are you
Zeros.
waiting
Oh
for?
my god.
It's 4v5.
Zeros hard
Oh,
into
no,
top
it's
lane.
4v4. Oh, never mind. I didn't realize Yado had gone back. I'm sorry for my rage. But now it's 4v5 still. 70 seconds on Zeros. This is going to be the Elder Dragon being picked up here for
Sub in
Cerberus.
Yoshino.
Bring Yoshino in. The man's a god.
Oh
Don't
no.
use
What
the
has
demigod
Zeros
in Zeros.
done?
Cerberus now with it all to do. They
5
have the
minutes
second
on the
Elder.
double Elder Dragon.
4v5.
And this is a double
Cerberus.
Elder with 5 elemental
But
drakes.
Yado's
This.
got to get to his team. It's a 4v4 now.
Yeah, but they can't
I
fight the
know what he's
4v4.
doing.
The
No,
damage.
he's not. And that was very, very smart using the black shield to clear out a hole in the trap line. But with 3
no.
TPs on GAM,
I really.
20 seconds on Zeros, could
play
we
from
see
Zeros.
the ultimate Protoss proxy pylon play? TP into the base and just win it.
I mean, it's possible.
Cerberus Baron.
Triple TP
Yeah, I mean,
available.
there's a TP called. It's being called. They're
But
going
they have
for
to
it.
secure Baron. They have to seal Baron away.
Have to lock it down. No. Cerberus needs to secure this and use the recall.
Ah,
They
that
get
was
it.
so
Oh,
close.
no, down goes Pot, though. Levi should be going down as well. The Baron recalls are coming in. Actually, that's a TP. But the Nexus turrets
Nexus
are down.
open.
This should
Nexus is
go
open.
To the base. Kiaya goes into Zin. He'll be knocked into GA as well. They have to kill them instantly when they come up. Kiaya
Nope.
goes down. Zin is the only
not
other
enough.
one. Can he get a crit? Oh my god! It survives! It survives!
Oh, what a call. It was on Levi. It was on Levi. If Levi was able to steal away the Baron, no Baron recall, they would have been able to finish this game. Good call from Gum. I think it was the right one, but in the end it backfires, and this will be a very slow bleed out because no one is alive on Gum's side to watch their
This is game.
structures
This is
die.
just game.
Yeah, this is definitely game.
That was one auto attack.
2 maybe.
That was one auto.
Whew. What a game, and Cerberus will win it in 65 minutes.
What a game, boys!
Wow.
Oh my god, you have to love it. It wasn't peak League of Legends, but how can you hate?
What a finish.
Oh,
A very good
it
attempt
had
from Gum.
everything. They were one auto attack from Zin, from winning the game.
And we had 4 Elder Dragons. We had I lost count of the Barons. Was it 5? Was it 6? I'm not quite sure.
It was 5
I think it
Barons
was
and
5,
4
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Almost all the turrets were knocked down, especially on the side of Cerberus. Wow. Cerberus won a game where they lost all 11 turrets on the map. That's almost unheard of. We already had a 3 inhibitor come back this week. I think it was, who was it? Gum? Gum against QG, right? Wow, that was just one game. We'll possibly have 2 more.
So hype.
And we're in for a long one today. We're definitely in for a long one.
I mean, I'm glad that they've got a little bit of an extended break there. I might have to go and apologize to my neighbors for my little pop off there.
Yeah, indeed. Fnatic versus OG flashbacks from season 4. That was heartbreaker of a game. This one not quite as important. It's only regular season game, but what a high
Still,
performance.
still.
Cerberus takes
I
down
mean,
GAM in game 1. And will we see Yoshino in game 2?
I doubt it, but I think you should. I think Zeros made bad calls.
Yoshino
But we
seems
have
to be the more
to.
consistent player, right? And it
Yeah,
seems like both
absolutely.
players are able to absolutely dominate top lane, so why not sub in Yoshino for more consistency, especially in the late game?
Yep, I completely agree. We have to answer a really hard
Oh no.
question now. MVP.
I think it's Yado.
Yeah?
He won the 1v1 in the base that ultimately won the
Yeah.
game for Cerberus, in my opinion.
Yep.
I mean, this
I
game
mean,
was a 65
I'm
minute
gonna
game, so
say I'm
there was
gonna
so
say something
much
controversial. I'm gonna say something controversial.
pot.
Slay.
Slay
I want
lost
to
the
give it.
game
I
though.
want to. I know. I'm aware, but I think he was the most valuable player on the map. I
He
think we
was
are
a
gonna. I think we are gonna stick to our theme of only giving it to the winning team. I think that's something we should do. But his Lux performance was the only reason they stayed in that for as long as they
he
did.
was very good. He's an insane Lux player.
He's bonkers.
Chad, what do you think?
I mean,
Who should be the MVP? I'm leaning towards Yado.
I think agree with Yado, but honestly, I think Slay was 0.1% behind him, even though he lost. It was
Yeah,
so good.
yeah. I think Slay had an absolute cracker of a game. I would have loved to see them win and give it over to Slay as well.
Yep.
I
But
think it would
Yado
be a
gets
little
my
bit
vote as well.
unfair to not give it over to Cerberus player. It's only the
Yeah.
fourth game they win, so
Yep.
let's lock it
I
down
agree.
for
Yeah, I
Yado.
completely agree.
Second MVP actually on our stream. YT, Yado, and Pot have been the three MVPs for all the games that Cerberus won, and Yado now with his second MVP. Very good Corki performance, very crucial 1v1 victory against Zeros on the base.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, especially, you need to catch your breath. So
Yeah.
we'll see you
My
all in
throat.
six
I've only
minutes.
cast one game and my throat hurts.
We'll continue this crazy mess of a series, which I can say after one game already, in 6 minutes. Stay tuned.
Absolutely. Oh. G'day, everybody. I hope you've all gotten a big glass of water. You've all managed to go get a blanket, settled in, because my oh my, what a game one. But now, game two, Cerberus versus Gum. What do we think is going to be different this time? Because it's got to be different.
Yeah, it's gonna be very different. We came in thinking this would be a quick 40-minute blowout in favor of GAM. I still kind of think it should be that way, even coming into game two. Obviously, resetting mentally is very hard, as you rightfully pointed out in the pause. I try to see who's in for GAM. The cast is sadly. Oh, it seems to be Cirrus, so no substitution coming in.
I think that's a mistake. You've got Yoshino on the bench and, like, taking aside our bias towards Yoshino for a moment and ignoring who's the better player, Yoshino's fresh.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part. Even
Yoshino
if you
can
think
just
Zeros
play
is the
a
better player.
65-minute marathon.
And the official broadcast agrees with us. Yado gets the MVP for game one. Very good Corki performance, especially in the later stages of the game. Obviously, late game 6-item Corki is ridiculous. We saw his crits jumping up to almost 1000, I think, in the end. He went for a full 100% crit build as well, selling his boots. Very interesting adaptation. And that was a 65-minute game. I don't think we'll see even the half of that in the next game. But let's see if Cerberus can actually close this one out. Would be probably the biggest upset of the season.
Can they ride the high? That's the thing. Like, you've got to be so pumped. Like, think about, like, everyone that's played League of Legends for quite a while. You've had a game like that. Obviously, very few of us have played on stage, but you've had a solo queue game like that. I can distinctly remember I went to boarding school for my last year of high school. I played a game like that in my boarding school room in year 12. I won it. And for like a solid 25 minutes, I was just walking around going, yeah, boys, yes.
Yeah,
You feel
it's such a
so
great
good.
feeling.
And they've
It's
got to
really great feeling.
ride the emotion into game two.
Especially after I get almost getting backdoored, right? It's
Yeah,
one of the
exactly.
worst feelings ever to get backdoored and not falling to the back door then and winning in a straight push through mid lane after 65 minutes of grind. What a feeling that has to be on stage in Vietnam over there. But now it can actually backfire for you as well, because if you're too hyped coming into the next game, think you're still sitting on 6-item Corki, and go forwards for the tower dive, might backfire a lot. We'll have to see if Cerberus can kind of come in hot in the next game, or if GAM was able to reset their mental and be their usual selves and just stomp all the lanes and win the game in 20 minutes.
Yep. But here we have the Renekton ban, knowing Cerberus, knowing they don't have first pick this time. It's actually a good decision in my book.
Yeah, Renekton seems to be a very high priority pick in this draft against GAM. Interesting adaptation. Yep. I think it's the first time we really see a big Renekton focus for the enemy team. Quite smart, actually, because they're... Oh, Corki ban. Corki ban on GAM's side. Even though Kiaya has shown us the Corki, so he's not willing to first pick the Corki or even go into the Corki later on. What do you think is the highest priority champ remaining, other than Lux?
Lux is gone, so maybe Xayah?
I don't think GAM will prioritize Xayah.
Oh, Yuumi.
Yuumi for GAM?
Was she banned last game?
I think she was, yeah.
I'd imagine so.
It's already 75 minutes ago, so I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I don't really remember.
I'm sorry to bring you back to the draft of last game. That was basically happened a week ago.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's Yuumi for GAM. That's a little bit curious. I mean, Slay has played Yuumi before, but usually want to play around bot lane with the Yuumi. Looking at his stats, he's played her twice, while he's played Lux 8 times, so it's definitely more of a Lux player.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's absolutely more a Lux player. But that said, there is similarity between the Yuumi and the Lux.
Some.
I mean, they do similar things, right? They play very differently, but they do similar things.
Yeah, I mean, I think Yuumi actually is very distinct play style. But I agree that they both are mostly sitting on the defensive. I think Lux and Yumi both have their very distinct ways of going on the aggressive side.
Yep.
Lux with catching people out and using her burst to burst them down in the mid game, especially. Yumi with grouping up with the jungler and trying to catch someone with ult. So, oh, Ezreal Yumi for GAM. That's a very self-sufficient lane.
Yep. I mean, which is what GAM wants, right?
Yep,
You
but
don't want to have a bot lane that has to have help
it's
or
a little
wants.
bit of a change if you look at where they picked the bot lane. Usually they don't really prioritize bot lane early on. So
Yep.
this is a very early prioritized bot lane, looking for maybe counter picks and no jungle picks so far for the side of
No.
GAM.
But Irelia is picked up here. Could go to Zeros or Kiaya, both very capable Irelia players. Camille could potentially be what they're making go into it.
Camille into Irelia is a little bit of a curious one. Usually Camille wins early on, especially if she goes for laning phase, rune choices like the Grasp.
Yep.
Late game is in favor of. I've heard different opinions.
I think in the pure 1v1, I think Camille actually has mad outplay potential.
It's very hard to call. It's a very interesting, very intriguing
It's
1v1.
execution, right?
But it's
In the
Zeros
end.
against YT. Wouldn't you favor Zeros over YT in that situation then?
Yes. But at the same time, I'd favor Yoshino even more. But he's not in.
Especially on Aurelia. He is a great Aurelia.
Fantastic Aurelia.
So now we have to see which AP jungle champ Levi goes for this time. Maybe the Karthus again. He's a legendary Karthus player. And we can be
Absolutely.
almost sure that he goes for AP, because he's gone for AP almost every game.
He likes his AP
Oh,
junglers.
Karthus banned. That's very sad. I wanted to
Good.
see
I,
a
I think that's
Karthus.
smart though. Like I understand we both want to see the Karthus, but I think that's really clever out of Cerberus. Just go, we're gonna ban out your two AP junglers, which potentially makes it harder for you to get the right damage profile, because you've already picked up Irelia.
Gragas is still open, right? So
Yeah, but Gragas is, in my opinion, for Levi in particular, obviously Gragas is a great jungler, and Levi's fine on the pick, but compared to his Elise and his Karthus, I'm happy to have him on Gragas.
yeah, that's fair.
And I mean,
But think about
you can.
Gragas Yasuo here as a rotation for GAM.
No,
Oh
Cerberus!
no!
Come on!
Here we go again. Throw away the game because you just won a game against GAM and you don't want to win another game. Pick up support Galio. Why?
Very
Oh
frustrating.
god, I hate support Galio.
I just hate Galio. Just not
This
good.
is a very interesting choice. He has not played Nidalee before, but he's a pathing jungler, so should be very
Yep.
good.
Oop. Sorry. Something randomly started playing. Blame me for keeping the method side open to see when Ajara dies. But yeah, this is just an
No,
awful support pick
Aatrox, please,
from.
Aatrox. Ah, why?
I don't know how I feel about these drafts. Hey boys.
Yeah, we once again are in a very good first round draft, and then both teams completely lose their minds in the second round for absolutely no reason. Like, what's this second round? It's wow.
It's pretty
Nidalee
atrocious.
LeBlanc and Galio Syndra. I mean,
Uh, oh, this isn't good, is it?
we saw a very good Nidalee game in the first series from Thorn, our Nidalee expert. And now the first Nidalee game for Levi. I'm very hyped to see him path around and get a huge advantage. He's by far the best Karthus player. And even though it sounds a little bit weird, Karthus and Nidalee playstyles are quite similar. So I expect him to be very good on the Nidalee.
Potentially. I mean, yeah, pathing jungler for Levi makes total sense, right? I, we have to. I'm just trying to sort of get back into. I'm trying to calm my own hype a little bit. Because we do need to get back into the mentality of this is a game that's going to start from 1 minute, not 60 minutes. And just
Sadly,
look at these drafts.
no sudden death.
I mean, that'd be pretty high, But
Imagine, as a tiebreaker at Worlds, we don't play a whole game anymore. We play sudden death. 60 minutes,
yeah,
everyone.
start at 60 minutes. You
Oh
get
my
to pick
God.
6 items, and it's an ARAM. Oh, that'd be high.
Wait,
I
that
mean,
would be good for the NA teams. NA teams usually lose
yeah.
tiebreakers, right?
I mean, that like ignoring the ARAM part, that would genuinely be a fun thing to do at Rift.
I think so, yeah. I
Or
mean,
like
it's very
All-Stars.
execution heavy, so it's actually fair, I think, to play.
Do it at like All Stars or something where normally they do like the 2v2s, or they've done the thing where you play
Tiebreaker
two
is
people.
TFT? Nah, I don't like that any.
Tiebreaker
My God.
TFT. Can you imagine that? Teams start bringing it out there, and the ringer comes in.
Imagine
Skara
IG.
returning.
Imagine IG for some reason trolled a few games in the group stage of Worlds, and they are tied with Liquid, and they have to take a tiebreaker. And instead of a normal game where IG would just thump Liquid, disregarding
play
MSI
TFT.
results, they have to play TFT and then NA.
I'd love the post game interview. Just yeah, boys, we just had a bit of a happy game, so we just went like 6 glacials. It was just a happy game.
That's true. By the way, Wild, Shapeshifter, Sorcerer, Glacial is disgusting. I just want a game in the pause.
I mean, yeah, if you can get 4 full synergies, it is pretty nutty.
The dragon gave me a Frost Hammer, and the Elder Dragon gave me a Yumi. And I was like,
yeah, I mean,
okay, I'll take it.
I had a game earlier where I had 6 demons and 4 gunslingers.
I hate demons so much.
And my Tristana and my Lucian were both demons. Because I got 2 spatulas and 2 tears.
Get me out of demon matter.
That was literally just like, and I was going up because I think 2 other people in that game were going sorcerers, and it was just like, have fun. You don't get to cast against me. Something you should try is Gunblade Vega.
That sounds very fun, yeah. Vega with his 24,000 damage hits.
Yeah, it's coded as doing like 90,999 damage, so it's full heal. And speaking of taking a lot of damage, Zeros getting interrupted. Well played by Pot and YT. Precisely what you want to see.
Yeah, Zeros didn't even try to flash. I think that's a good choice. There was no real way of getting out of there. Level 1 still. Very early gank. 2 minutes first gank. What a pathing.
Yeah.
And now Levi wants to contest for his own buff. Is he in time? Ooh, yeah, he is in time. He actually chases Pot over the buff. So now Pot actually behind when it comes to jungling. Levi has a lot of time to continue his path. So at least Levi is not set behind, which is very crucial because he's in Italy.
Gold/XP wise would probably actually end up fairly even. What we need to see though is if YT can snowball the lead that he now has.
And this stat, by the way, is the most bullshit stat you will ever see. Because it's very inflated.
Yeah, it's ridiculously inflated. He had a game where he TP'd bot at like 3 minutes and got a triple kill, and he was against a Scion that didn't exist for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the other time.
It was a Flame Horizon at 17 minutes, so...
Who was it against?
It was against Taurus. It was Taurus' last game, I think, on stage. It was very unfortunate.
Not fair. That was not Taurus' fault.
Was it Taurus? Wait. Yeah, it was Taurus. I think it was Taurus.
I think you're right. Oh, Levi, though, gets caught on the invade. Kitty, that's not your cave.
Hey, perfectly read by the enemy team. Very nicely done.
Absolutely. And up in the top lane, Zeros gets a little bit trucked here by YT. So hard to trade back. Also, want to give props to YT. Didn't go Conqueror into Irelia. PTA is so much better here.
Yeah, now Kiaya gets caught.
Kiaya has no W. Has to burn the flash.
What is GAM doing? They look very off today.
They're sitting there. They've got the gun show going on, flexing their muscles. And down in the bot lane,
yeah, it was Hani. Yeah, you're right. It was Hani. It was not Taurus. It was Hani.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was Hani, actually.
Yeah.
And now Zeros is in the... What is going on?
What is happening? So many TPs being called. Zeldris gets slowed by the Yumi. Kaya throws himself forward, but
Okay,
Zeldris
can we
flashes
play a normal
away.
game of League now? I mean,
I think this is what happens when you go in super hypey, right?
yeah, probably. They are still feeling 60 minutes in their
Yeah.
fingers. What was that? Everyone TP
Yeah.
to mid lane at 4 minutes because why not, right?
Pretty nutty.
Now
This
Nidalee at least
is.
gets one Scuttle Crab. She's still only ahead by one camp compared to the J4. And J4 has his Gromp and Volvis available, so Nidalee actually not too far ahead. Not accelerated so far.
Yeah. This is very, very interesting so far.
We're slowed down a little bit. So 4
I think
minutes
we, I
of
think we have to,
absolute
right? The
chaos.
TPs are on cooldown.
Yeah, luckily. So now we'll get to see a little bit of laning, hopefully. Top lane has actually not really been in YT's favor, even though he got the early assistance from his jungler, because he didn't get the kill and Xerath just TP'd into top lane straight away. So in the end, it's still even in the top lane. He could freeze under his turret, but I don't really want to talk about top lane freezes because we had interesting situations already this week, and top lane freezes are not something the VCS top laners are too familiar with.
It's very true. We don't want to talk about top lane phrases too much in the VCS. But overall,
Did
hooves?
your quality drop right now as well? Is this on me or?
No, mine's fine.
Okay, I'll just hope we'll get back to better quality again. My apologies. Don't really want to reset right now because we would need to resync. So let's just hope my internet
Just
will
hope
be
and pray.
able to
I mean,
provide
if it
us with
doesn't
an.
look, honestly, you probably should just reset. It's a bit of a lull state. Nothing's happening. We can quickly reset. It's no big deal.
That's true. That's true.
Just
So there we are.
anyway, in the meantime, a bit of a radio cast here. Zeros could potentially be getting tower dive, but no. Something goes wrong and they instantly cancel the play. But
Oh,
Zeros!
Zeros!
What the hell? Losing his mind! Loses so much health, and his
Levi's here.
jungler's here. Pod
Ooh!
has to limp away. Now in Zeros, can he survive? And oh no, it's going to be the double kill. But Zeros does go
Oh,
down.
wow.
Levi getting one. It
What a
turned.
mess. Zeros actually hit 6 with the kill there, so he was able to
God,
re-engage with the
Ron,
ult.
that was so gross.
Yeah, that was not great.
Picking.
Yeah, but in the end, it's still a 2 for 1 for GAM, and they get a kill on the Nidalee, who's now ahead by 13 CS, has camps available, so finally Levi has hit the acceleration button, gets more CS in the top lane, pushes in the wave, because he knows what to do about wave management, so that's very good to see.
Yep.
So look at this one again. Zeros goes in. I have no idea what was going on. Zeros delays a lot with his W and now pod way too deep. Actually, only gets hit by one turret shot, interestingly enough. He hit 6 right now, instant ult. And I didn't think Whitey would have the damage to kill him. I think Zeros probably did not really think he would go down there. So at least one kill back to Whitey as we hit a little bit of pause, it looks like.
Yeah.
Kiaya
Hopefully we get a
looking over
time.
to his jungler.
That we do. So, this has been an interesting start to the game, to say the least. Overall, I think it's coming out fairly even.
Aren't you supposed to drink with the caps on?
I think they're like they're like travel cups, right?
Okay, maybe, yeah. Might be true.
Yeah, I think I've got not the same, but I've got a similar thing with the lid. You like flip it up. They're really good. They keep things warm or cold, depending on what you put in it.
Sounds good, sounds good.
Also, gonna be totally honest, gamers near probably very expensive PCs, give them a sippy cup.
That's a very good idea, especially if your name is Sven Skaren.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Especially
Spill
Sven
Skaren.
I mean, I don't think Spill Skaren should even be allowed to have cups. They should be like, Sven, are you thirsty? Okay, ref, bring in like the baby bird feeder.
Yeah, probably.
You can just lick at that like you're a baby bird.
Looking at this game, sadly we only get to see the players right now. I would like to see the pause
Yeah,
screen to reevaluate what we are looking at. I think GAM on a slight gold deficit, but now Levi's off to a great start on the Nidalee. He has hit level 5. I mean, level 6 is not that important for the Nidalee, so it doesn't really
yeah,
matter too much. But he can now look for invades. They should try to play around the Nidalee a little bit more, I think.
I agree.
Maybe reinvest the resources from LeBlanc to get the Nidalee even farther ahead. Are you alright over there?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Okay.
I just accidentally stabbed myself with something I was holding. I do apologize.
Slay does not
So
really look very interested anymore. I mean, they have been sitting on the stage now for almost 2 hours already, and they're only
yeah,
into the start of the game too, so oof,
I mean it's
might
a
be a long one.
daunting prospect. If you're a gum player, this is a super daunting prospect because you're meant to win, right? Obviously,
You're
you're the
meant to
big
stomp.
favorite in the game. You're meant to stomp. So you're sitting here thinking, bloody hell, if we win, even if we do it exactly what we're meant to do, there's at least another 50 minutes on stage.
No,
That's a
you're sitting
long
there
day.
going like, oh, if just our coach was not in love with zeros.
Yeah, it's like Yoshino, baby. I'm convinced that like the other players must just like go to bed at night with like it's like that meme where it's Wolverine on the bed looking at a picture, but it's just Yoshino. I mean, I
But
know,
nice meme.
just to clarify, people maybe that hasn't watched us a huge amount. Welcome, by the way, if you are in that boat. Welcome to the unofficial English stream. We don't hate Zeros. In fact, I really like him. He's a good player. But my God, is Yoshino good as well? It
Yes.
is just a shame that they're on the same team. I'd love to see them play against each other.
I'd really like to see that, yeah. Maybe they do,
Yeah,
and
that
maybe
is
that's why Zeros is playing, because he beats Yoshino in the scrims. We have heard from Yoshino that he thinks the three best top laners in the league are on his team,
yeah. I
and
mean, I think
that's
he's
him,
completely correct.
Zeros, and their mid laner, Kiaya, who was a top laner previously. There's a lot of hype around Zeros, Kiaya, and Levi, because they are three of the four Vietnamese players who hit Challenger in Korea. The fourth is
Yep.
obviously SOFM over at LMG in the LPL. So they are very hyped by the Vietnamese community for their mechanics, for their ability to keep up with the best players in Korea. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
absolutely. I mean, they're very
how good Yoshino is in solo queue, but in professional play, he definitely is very good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and obviously solo queue and professional play are very different beasts. Like coordinated play is almost just a different game, which is partially like some of Zeros's issues. Are he plays a little bit solo queue. He goes for those overextensions where in solo queue he can punish players that might be a little bit less coordinated in that. But in coordinated play, shockingly enough, they're much more coordinated.
Yeah,
So
sometimes it backfires a lot. Wow, a lot of lag once again on the main broadcast. What
unfortunate.
do you think of Zin so far? He's the new ADC. He's a very quiet player on the.
I think I think he has a very hard job. And what I mean
It's
by
true.
that is he is not getting help from his team because that's not how Gun plays. And we say this a lot. You only have so many resources you can assign, right? Your jungler can't literally be everywhere, so he has to pick lanes. And Gum very intelligently play around their top side, which means that Zin sort of gets left high and dry, but he's a traditional ADC player, which means he suffers from being left high and dry. Whereas Hugh, who, while yes, I know he had a very bad Karthus game, but that's one game, Hugh just played mages and just said, yeah, I don't win lane. I come out 15 CS behind, but who cares?
Yeah, I go Super Soko Velcos and no one cares because the items are
Yeah,
cheaper and I get to my mid
exactly.
game spike anyway.
And then I do what I have to do, and I help my top side, and that's exactly what you want.
I mean,
So
I
I think
think to
Zin
be
has
fair
a
to
really
Zin,
rough
he has
time.
been absolutely fine on the lane.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. I don't think Zin has been. I wouldn't for a moment say that Zin has been bad. I just think it's hard.
And I don't
Um,
really understand why they sub him in. Maybe there's the
I think
belief that they
going
have to play in
forward,
a traditional ADC. I still think
going
the
forward, they
playstyle about
want the
Hugh.
ability to play marksman. I
Sorry,
guess.
said that again.
I think going forward, they just want to be able to play marksman.
Yeah,
But
but
one thing
why?
I noticed, one thing I noticed from these VCS teams where they have like GAM is the perfect example. Let me explain. You have a situation where you have two top laners, both are great, right? Either could play. Same with your bot lane. What I don't like is they seem to be very, very committed to going, no, this is our fight. Don't do that. Play a 7-man fluid roster and go, hey, going into this game, we think Magebot would be better. Xin, have a sit for a game and let Hugh go in, right? I don't want to read too much into culture and stuff because you never want to say a comment that might not be true. But my read on it is it's a little bit of ego. Players don't want to be told, hey, sit for a game. But it's not like sit because Xin you're shit and Hugh's better or vice versa. It's just Hugh has a playstyle, Xin has another playstyle. In this draft, Xin is better. In this draft, Hugh is better. And you want to be swapping between them. It gives you another string to your bow.
Yeah, I think they might be a little bit concerned that the enemy team will be able to ban out the whole champion pool of Hugh. Because if he
Can
really only
they, though?
plays mages, I mean, I
I
don't
mean, but
agree,
there's
but
so
maybe
many
that's
bot
the
lane
worry,
mages.
right? Maybe if
Maybe,
you
but
ban
there's so
out,
many bot lane mages. And I mean, let's be real. If the enemy ban like Heimerdinger, Nico, Kaiser, right? Cool. Okay, yeah, Hugh might struggle a little bit, but that's your weak lane anyway. He can just like, I don't know, there's still like plenty of mages, play
yeah, he still
Victor or
played a
something.
great Lux. He still played
Exactly.
Karthus.
Like,
Not a great Karthus, but he played Karthus. He
no,
played Vel'Koz.
but if he's drawing 3 bans, thank you very much. We can do whatever we want now and enable our strong side.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I don't really understand
I,
why they are not trying to get Hugh into the team a little bit
exactly. They
more.
should be they should be playing both. I'm not saying bench is in or anything like that, but you should be trying to play both.
Yeah, so far Zin I think has absolutely been fine, but I
Absolutely.
still like to see Hugh a little bit more. I like
Yep.
Hugh's play, especially on the Lux a lot, and we
Yeah.
have to see how Gum wants to approach possibly Worlds, possibly the playoffs first. I mean, they're still not locked in playoffs. They are actually not even locked out of relegations right now because they are
Yeah, that's
five
what happens
series
when the
ahead.
league is so close.
Yeah, they're 5 series ahead of FTV, and if they lose today, well, they're only 4 ahead actually. They're at 6-3, and FTV is sitting at 2-8. So if they lose today, FTV and Cerberus will be at 2-8, so only 4 series behind with 4 series to play. So they could tie Gum, and Gum should actually fall into down into the 7th place. It's very unlikely, but
It's
it's
very, very
mathematically possible.
Yep. And if it's mathematically possible, it can happen in the VCS. This is an unfortunate situation. Like ignoring us, even though I mean, let's be real, we don't want these pauses either as casters. But this is so hard on the players. You come out of the marathon of game one and then go into a pause this long. This is rough for the mental.
Yeah, and they are not allowed to talk. So this pause will be very draining.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I'm always in favor of letting. I know that the rule is the rule, but I still think you should be able. If there's a pause this long, you should be able to just chat. Don't talk about the game, but yeah.
yeah, it's very hard to
Oh,
draw the line, right? Just maybe you have some code
yeah, it
words.
is.
Zin
Yeah,
seems to
exactly.
be
That's the big
the
thing.
one with the problem, and he just gave the thumbs up, so we might get back into the
Hopefully.
game. I hopefully.
Yeah, that is the goal. I remember. I mean, it's interesting. I don't think this ever happened as much with League, but I know that one of the big issues that Counter Strike had with technical pauses was you had teams just kind of like, oh shit, we really need a timeout, but we're all out because in the way Counter Strike often works is your coach can't talk to you, right? Just like in League, but they can stand behind you. Unlike League, they will stand behind you, and if there's a pause, your coach can talk, right? They'll be allowed to speak,
I
and
mean,
also in the
yeah.
in the 15 seconds before a round of Counter-Strike starts, your coach is allowed to talk. So what teams were often doing is like, oh, we're out of our tactical timeouts, because you get depending on the tournament, you normally get between 2 and 4, and they just go, oh, just gonna slip my foot around the back of my computer, just rip the power. Oh, my computer's crashed. Oh no, pause please. Oh coach, what the hell
Wow,
do I do?
that's pretty scam. Wow.
It's super sketchy, but it was happening. And like, I mean, obviously no one was ever directly said that was happening, because you can accidentally kick your computer, right?
I mean,
That does happen. And I mean, rules came in to say that, like, if damage had been dealt in a round, like if anyone had been shot or hit by a grenade or anything and your computer crashed, tough shit.
yeah.
I
mean,
they wouldn't restart the round if any damage had been dealt. So
I think that's a good call. You can't really
it's
prevent these
yeah,
random
exactly.
exploits from happening, right? You just told
Yeah,
us a few days ago from the bug that was abused that gave one team 14 rounds in a row.
yeah, that was I mean, that's one of the biggest like controversies in esports, I think. What happened? Because give a little bit more context on that one, because we do have this pause, so I may as well talk about a little bit of esports history. Even though I know we're all League of Legends fans here, this is still a fun story, even if you don't care about Counter Strike. In Counter Strike, you can stand on top of each other's heads, first person shooter. And basically, Fnatic, very popular team, right? They were playing in the quarterfinals of a major against, who were they against? It was a French team, but it wasn't one of the modern French orgs. I'm very game. So are we back in?
No, I
God damn
think
it, I
this
never
is.
get sorry.
Are we back in?
No, this is live. This is live.
Oh, this is live. That's nice. Okay,
Yep.
so
I never
disregard
get to
all
tell this story.
the CS stories because this is much more interesting. This is League of Legends.
Absolutely. Yep. Much more fun for right now. So coming back into it, we do finally get to look at it, and yeah, as I think both of us were saying, despite not being able to see, it's a pretty even game at the moment. It's shaken out to be fairly even. 1 kill extra on Cerberus' side, but there's a little bit of a farm advantage in the jungle, as is expected from an Italy.
But an even
So,
game with an Italy in the game is not great because you. Oh, wow. Insta engage on Slay,
whoa,
and Slay is caught
whoa,
out here.
Slay's just dead.
Yeah, you don't want to wander around as Yumi ever, so that's what happens. And
No.
now they get a free Mountain Drake probably on top of that as well. Nidalee can invade topside, so it's actually for the Nidalee it's not too bad. For a team it's not great, obviously, but the Nidalee actually likes to invade right now. I really like to see her go for the Raptors again. I know she died the last time she tried to invade the
Oh,
Raptors, but
yeah. I mean, but that Mountain Drake being picked up is a pretty big boon. We didn't actually see it. We actually didn't see a Mountain Drake in the last game, and wow, what value a Mountain Drake would have gotten.
yeah, I think that was
Considering,
one of the reasons the game was prolonged for so long because no one actually had the damage to kill the objectives early on.
exactly, and we saw how much it mattered, because Barons were taking such a long time to go down,
And
that
this
it
will
was a
be
real
another
struggle.
mountain, so Cerberus has the potential to go for double mountain.
Yeah, that would be very strong. Gaia throwing himself forward here. Does the chains land? It does. And the spear is dodged, though. Yado just going for that little bit of the Michael Jackson, just leaning back, letting it pass.
What a
Manages to get
calm
out
and
of there.
collected play from Yado.
Yeah,
Did not even flash
incredible.
away.
Nope. He cleansed, which he needed to. So one summoner was invested by each mid laner, but really well played out of Yado. That's what we want to see.
Do you remember what Swen, the current ADC for TSM, said about Nidalee and the enemy team?
I'm going to be honest, I don't.
If you get hit by a spear, you don't have a mouse. So Yado
Yeah,
just
yeah.
proved he has a mouse connected. So
I still
nice for
don't
him.
think that's necessarily a fair play. Like, if you get hit by a spear when you're not pressured, then yeah, maybe turn your monitor on. But good Nidalee will make you have to run in one direction and then throw the spear to
I
cut
mean,
you
it's
off.
Sven. Sven can be very
I mean, he's
how to call
obviously
it,
hyperbolic. He's
hyperbolic and
exaggerating,
also a little bit
cocky.
overestimating his own capabilities,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, YT taking so much damage though. Zeros is winning this trade hard. Levi's here as well. Will we see? Oh, I think YT was out if he did an ult.
Oh, what a bummer.
Oh, that's so depressing.
I think he was dead anyway, to be honest. But he
Maybe.
tried everything there, and now his ult is
Yep.
on cooldown, so it's actually a good trade for Zeros, even though he didn't get the kill. I mean, it's a good trade anyway because he gets a lot of pressure on the top lane, gets to freely reset. But now he
Very
has
true.
ult advantage on the cooldown timer, so he might look for an immediate all-in once his ult is off cooldown. And does he have enough money for an early Shi? No, he does not. He goes for a wave clear, so maybe not going for the early all-in. He got a plating, but I'm not sure he got the gold for the plating in the top lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. It's a little bit hard to know, but Yado does get the plating in the mid lane. And look at how the mid lane's turning out here. Pretty significant CS lead for Syndra already built up, as well as 2 assists and the turret plating. This is going well for Yado.
It's Kiaya on a mage.
It's Kiaya playing a mid laner.
Yeah, we're not used to that side.
It's a little bit scary.
And it seems like
What does Blue
Kiaya is not
have?
used to this either. Because usually he wins all the mid lane matchups, but not so great today.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how if Kiaya knows how to play from behind in the mid lane. He's never been behind. The man's generally just fantastic. But I mean, it's still early days, plenty of time to go.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, the early laning phase for Syndra is sometimes easier, especially if when it comes to CS, as Zeros gets caught
Ooh,
out.
here we go though. Firos caught out completely. The TPs have been called, but down goes Irelia. The flashes are used as well, but Pot does go down. Oh no, Cerberus has collapsed. Triple kill for Zin. He's gone up to Cerberus and he's cut off all 3 heads, and now he's miles ahead.
And will we see the first big carry performance for the new bot laner for GAM? He played the Vladimir game, he's back to normal ADCs, and now on the Ezreal, Yumi in his back pocket. 3-0 Ezreal. This is very dangerous. GAM with a very strong mid game comp as well. They might just look for the acceleration through the Rift Herald in the top lane. Give even more gold over to the Ezreal, maybe a little bit of gold over to the Nidalee as well, and really leapfrog ahead to a very good early start in the game.
Yep. Also, just completely off topic. I don't know if you're paying attention to Discord. So apparently, the reason Gum lost a ban is before the game started, Zeros really needed the bathroom, but there was no available stall, so he had to go elsewhere to the bathroom.
So that's why they
And
were
was
late,
late.
right?
Also, apparently, in Vietnam, the sign on restrooms is WC. Is that a thing?
I mean,
People in the Discord are surprised that I don't know what that means.
I'm very surprised you don't know what that means as well.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's very common. Okay,
Not in
Australian
Australia.
people are very weird.
We just
What's the
call it
sign
the
for
restroom.
restrooms in Australia?
Restroom.
I mean, okay, it's English, I guess. That's fair.
Yeah. We just have restrooms, and the sign on the door will just be a little picture of a lady or a man, and a toilet. I don't know. I mean, Australians half the time we just call it the shitter. So
Okay then. Okay then.
Australians, we're a craft nation.
I thought that was universal. That's very interesting that you don't know.
I've
I
never
actually
heard that. I've been to Germany as well, and apparently it's a thing there. What?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a thing here. It's not actually as much
What
used as a
was
sign
it?
in Germany, though. You have more of the man and woman
Yeah, you
figures as
have the.
signs as well. But WC or WC, how we call it, is definitely a word for toilet or a very, very
I
commonly
have
used
never heard that
phrase
in
for
my
it.
life.
It's,
I've never heard
it's
that in my
super
life.
funny.
I've done a lot of traveling as well. It's not like I've never left Australia. What is going on? My head. I'm having an existential crisis.
I don't think you have ever actually traveled. You just sat in your room and dreamt about traveling.
Yeah, maybe I've just got a really good VR headset. I didn't know. Oh
That's
my.
really funny. Australian people seem to be a little bit disconnected to the rest of the world, it seems like.
We just call it the toilet. Why do you call it the water closet?
I mean,
It's not a
I
closet.
don't know
It's a room.
why, but it's definitely used. Whatever.
Oh my
We should go back to
god.
the
Back to
game.
League of Legends instead of just me wanting to. I need to go. Oh my.
So Zeros
You went.
actually cost them another ban.
Yep.
It's very funny
Yeah.
because
I mean,
he.
that's a bit. That's unlucky for him. Like, I can understand not wanting to go on stage if you need the bathroom, especially considering how game one went.
Yeah, that would have
But
been a bit of a problem for him. 65
yeah,
minutes in the game, and he didn't go for the
I think
bathroom.
he might have been doing his best pajama Lux cosplay by the end.
Yeah, indeed.
Ron getting caught out again on the Galio, has to burn the stopwatch.
Very good
So much
stopwatch.
damage. This
Should be
Galio
out.
continuing to show why we don't like Galio. Has done nothing.
Yeah.
Also, we should just check that we're synced because I know we were out of sync before the pause.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call. I'm at 47, 16, 49, 50.
Okay, I'm stopping at 55.
3, 4, 5.
Lovely. Sorry about that, everyone. Just do that while we have a little bit of a lull after we engage in the mid lane.
And
But
GAM
now
is
it's
up to
gone
a
to a
3k gold lead, will secure another turret. They lost the second Mountain Drake, so Drake's once again, not once ago. I'm sorry, talked too much today already.
I mean,
Went over to
look,
servers.
we had a 60-minute game. We're allowed to lose ourselves a little bit.
GAM overall,
But-
not the biggest Dragon priority team. I think they always slay. You have to be careful. You already got caught out once, running out
Yeah,
alone.
Slay's doing a lot of wandering about as Yumi. A bit of a stray cat.
Yeah, not what you're supposed to do on Yumi.
So,
This is not pet territory. Let
yeah,
the
community
humans
message. Don't
run
let your
around.
cats outside. Community message. All of yous out there, keep your cats inside. They kill birds. They kill native birds. It's not good. Keep them
Okay,
in. Yeah, I'm just saying.
fair
It's
enough.
big pet issue. I don't know, yeah. It's a big thing in Australia. A lot of native birds die to cats because cats aren't native to Australia.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, we've had them for ages, like because they came with the Europeans, but they're not native. Zin does get caught there, but Yumi heals keep him very, very safe. We slow down a little bit. Let's assess how the lanes have gone. It's a winning mid lane for Cerberus. The top lane, pretty even, actually.
But Trinity
I think
completed
Zeros
for YT, so right now Zeros can't really fight. But they're in completely different lanes right now, so
Yeah,
they
and
will
I think
not
that's actually
fight.
pretty wise from GAM, just going, okay, Zeros is behind on his item spike. Don't put him up against it. Just sort of have it so both lanes just kind of freeze a little bit.
And
Looking
what
down
will be
to
the
the bot
breaking
lane,
point for a bad performance?
Zeros is charging forward here. He does have a help coming, but
He's
Levi
not strong
wasn't
enough
that
right now.
close.
No, that was never going
Like
to
if he
happen.
I will feel like if he'd waited 5 seconds, it could have happened though. If Levi was just a bit closer.
Against Rono P with his ult though, I'm not sure. I don't think that play was
Galio
ever gonna happen.
ult takes a really long time. Nidalee and Aurelia will kill you before it lands.
But not Aurelia without Trinity Force. He's not that scary.
I mean, if you considering the damage Zeldris took, if you added Nidalee onto that, he's dead.
Maybe. Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, we don't know. Like, it didn't happen, so we'll never know. But regardless, still good to see that there's signs of life within Zeros. He's 1-3, does have 5 assists though, so really no complaint. But hopefully we can see him buck up the score a little bit.
I just wanted to talk about what do you think? How many bad games does Zeros have to play for Yoshino to be the starting top laner? It's very hard to say, right?
I'm gonna be cynical. I don't think there's a number. I think this team was built around the idea of having a superstar topside, and Zeros was that superstar. And I feel like they have all the faith in the world for him, which, I mean, speaking of which, Zeros in a little bit of trouble here. Down he goes.
How did that spear connect? That was
a little bit
bullshit.
ridiculous.
Oh my... What?
Zeldris is going to feel very robbed. That shouldn't have been a 1-for-1.
No.
Just quietly. But
that was
back to
really
what I was
not
saying.
okay. That spear was not okay.
Yeah, back to what I was saying. I feel like this team was built with the idea that, look, I know there's going to be a bit of a delay, so we'll bring Yoshino in early on, but Zeros is our boy. Oh, here comes the engage, though.
Oh
YT
no.
going in on Zin.
Oh
Rono
no.
P's here as
Oh
well, but
no.
Galio has no health. All he's going to do is provide a bit of free gold to the Ezreal, but the 2-for-1 chicken kitten bucket KFC comes in. Make sure it's a 2-for-2. Overall, Galio, woo! We love Galio.
Yeah, Galio once again doing great. But
Yeah,
I was actually surprised, right? He had enough damage to take out the Zin there on the
almost.
backside, because I
I
thought they would just die. Interestingly enough, the second Q damage with the Trinity was enough to kill Zin, and
yeah,
then Slay is just free, right? It's
Slay
Yumi,
is
very
free.
sad to see Yumi die like that. But now
Yeah,
GAM off to a 4K gold lead. This game looks much more like we anticipated the series to look.
yep. If I could finally get to the point I was making, it does seem like teams are just securing a dragon, Ocean Drake for Gum. I feel like they want to play Zeros. They thought about playing with Levi. You know, sometimes you look on stage and stuff, and Levi and Zeros are joking with each other. They're clearly friends. Not to say I'm sure they like Yoshino as well, but you know they're quite clearly friends. Zeros is a bit of the celebrity of the VCS. I don't think there is an amount of games he can play badly unless he has some like zero
Look at
10
Pot.
games where he's literally straight into Pot's got back.
Yeah,
So
Levi
I
just
actually
one-shot Pot there.
Yeah. So I feel really bad for Yoshino because he's probably going to be stuck as a bench warmer. And I mean, if I'm Gum, I'm not selling him to another team. Screw that. I don't want another team to have him.
But I think he will be too expensive for them to keep after that performance. I think there will be, at least after this season, there will be a lot of interest in signing Yoshino. If you want to go with Zeros for the next season as well, Gum would have. I think Gum loses too much money holding on both top laners. So I think for next
Probably.
season we will probably see the two top laners separated and fighting against each other, and then maybe
So
Yoshino
high.
can actually go to DBL and take back the throne. That would be a
Yeah,
hype side story.
that'd be super high. I always love when teams, like when players go up against teams that sort of not mistreated them, because it's not like it's abusive or anything like that, but sort of misused them and go in and beat them. And that it's always good to see.
I
You know,
mean,
I'm
maybe it's the
liking.
best for his development, actually. I mean, we are very sad to not see him more in live games because he has performed very well. But who knows if he would have performed in another team? Maybe he
Yeah,
learns a lot
maybe. I
from
mean,
Zeros. As we have another engage,
yeah,
let's go back to the
I'm
game.
sure he. Yeah, absolutely. And Zin will be the first one going down. That's a lot of gold instantly removed from Gum. Can Cerberus keep this one going? No, Pot flashes
Insta
away to make sure
flash.
that he doesn't get jumped. Yeah, but Levi's got a big old leap range, so you want to make sure that that doesn't happen. But it is just the 1-for-0, but that's good. Keeping on removing Zin. One thing that Cerberus does have here is Ezreal's not that slippery when you've got a Camille.
Yeah, that's very true. You have to say, though, Pot has a lot of respect for Levi, as you just saw. He instantly flashed away, even though he had a full ult available.
Ooh,
Syndra
Gaia
still
caught
there.
out, but that's a LeBlanc. And oh, down you go, Zeldris.
And they almost got the double cat special. Oh,
Oh,
Yado.
Gaia goes down as well. Levi and Zin both taunted up, but Ron just dies. Why are we picking Galio? It hurts. He doesn't
Didn't you
do
see his great
anything.
impact there? I think Galio was doing great for Galio, so didn't actually do a
Yeah,
whole
for
lot.
a
But
Galio. But yeah, it just goes in and dies. I don't like it. Oh, Pot, why were you still there?
he tried to recall,
Just
and
gave up a free kill. Just go
this
into your
game
base.
might just be over. We are looking at a 6K goal lead for
Yeah.
GAM, and a super strong Ezreal. 3 items completed at 25 minutes compared to 2 on Zeldris, but the 2 are not even that synergistic, so hard time. A very hard time.
It's a real hard time. Uh, there's very little. This is very difficult for Cerberus to come back. It looks like we will be going possibly into game 3, but let's not count our chickens before they're even laid. Zeldris just gets caught. Yumi Q, very very difficult to avoid. Very short little EQ
Nice
from Pot
Yumi
as well.
play there.
Yeah,
Re-
very well done.
if you
Ron
want to
did his
play
best.
Yumi in a team fight, you always want to maximize your shielding amount. So try to look for an opportunity to quickly detach and get a shield because it's huge. It's
Yep.
oh, Zin actually did not spot Pot. That was
Oh,
super unfortunate for Pot. He was targeted by the
wow.
E from the S wheel, and the S wheel did not take notice until the E went a completely different direction. He thought the E would
Oh, wow.
chase
That's
YT,
fair.
and then the E targeted Pot there and gave him
That's
away.
like it's like the
That's
Metal Gear moment, the ping, with the
yeah,
exclamation mark appearing as the E goes the other way.
that's
Very
another mountain
unfortunate.
break. So Gum can
Yeah,
finally get the mountain break in this game, hopefully.
they definitely want to be equalizing that. Very, very important.
And I think this is the strongest suit for Levi. Pathing AP junglers. Once again, he's popping off on this Nidalee. 700 gold on top of his normal gold value, so you'll get 1000 gold killing him. But it's not easy to kill him. Will
No,
probably
it's
not
very,
happen
very
this
difficult.
game.
He already has his Zonyas. Like, this is a 3-item Italy
And
at
he has
26
double
minutes.
stopwatch, by the way.
Yep. He's not dying. He's just going to be the absolute shiny golden god. Baron started up here, going down not particularly quickly. Gum does not have that
Where's
mountain
Pot? Where's
break,
Pot?
but
Is Pot
still,
close enough?
no real. Pot is close enough, and he goes in. He's in the pit. Cataclysm used. Are we going to see the steal? No, he goes golden. They need to finish it while he's still golden.
Nicely
No, they
done.
kill him in the end. Well done. 2 kills, and the Baron picked up for Gum. It's going to be more as well. Down goes Yardo. Ron is on the wrong side of town. The only person having an impact at the moment is YT, picking up an inhib turret, which is nice. Can he pick up an inhib as well? If Ron can buy enough time, maybe. Yeah, he
Zeros, you
should be
could
able to get
just
the inhib.
recall. Zeros, what are you doing? You have Baron recall.
Yeah,
That
but
was a little bit silly.
this way YT can't get out of base,
I
so he
mean,
gets the
yeah, but
kill.
what does the kill do for you? You want to protect the inhibitor.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
Ooh,
YT.
YT though, buying so much time. He's actually.
Oh.
Ooh, if that flawless duet hadn't hit,
And will this just be
that might have
game?
been a kill. But yeah, this is game. I think. Two
Yado is
dead.
respawning in 7, but yeah, they will
Yeah,
just focus. And this time
this is
the Nexus will not survive with 2 HP, like last game.
game. Oh, goodbye, Pot.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
out. He didn't have the greatest game on his J4, and GAM ties up the series, I should say, with a very decisive 28-minute victory. Looked way better. Levi popping off on the cat, and they had another cat in Slay, so double cat, too strong for
yeah,
the
the
side
little
of
box
Cerberus.
combo.
Very interesting combo as
Yeah.
well. I'd like to see another Nidalee Yumi game.
I mean, I want to see Levi on pathing junglers. The dude's so good.
They banned out Karthus and got hit by Nidalee, so maybe they can just drop the Karthus ban and we get a Karthus game in game 3, because I really
Fingers
want my
crossed.
Karthus.
Yeah, we need our Karthus fix. Don't hold out on us, Gum.
I think
Give us
they
what we're
looked way
after.
better in this game, especially on the side of Levi and the bot lane. Zin
Yep.
with a very
Late
good
second.
early teleport. I mean, I think his positioning in teamfight actually was not that great. He got caught out a lot. I don't want to give him the MVP because I think he didn't actually play
Don't
out
want
his
to
lead too well. I think it's Levi.
don't
What do
want
you
to give.
think?
Yeah, so I thought you were talking about Levi. And I was gonna say I definitely want to give Levi the MVP. Uh, yeah, I think Levi MVP.
Yeah, another MVP this week. Levi finally popping off even on our stream in terms of MVPs. Now hitting 3 MVPs. At GAM is actually spread out a lot. They have 3 MVPs on Levi, 2 on Hugh. We have Kiaya on 2. Yoshino has 4. Slay has 2. Zeros has 1. So all the members on GAM at least have secured 1 or more MVPs. So very well. Oh, Zin actually has no MVP yet, so maybe he can come
Yeah, but
in
I
game
mean,
3, and
is he really going to get MVPs in this team?
it's not easy. I mean, Hugh got 2, right, with his Lux play,
Yeah,
because he was very good on the Lux.
it's very true. I do
Zin
think it's
almost
hard for
got
the
this
Gum.
one,
Yeah, absolutely. If the game had gone slightly differently, it could have been him picking everything up. So
and we'll hit
we will have
another
to.
short little pause for 6 minutes and a little bit to reset, maybe see if Yoshino comes back in finally for the game 3. Very unlikely. And meet us
Maybe
in
you never
6
know.
minutes to see if GAM can close out the series or if Cerberus can surprise us and go away with a 2-1 over GAM.